Hi everyone. This video I'm discussing the Pahang Addmaths trial for 2023. Okay, so a lot of students suggest me to make a video for this paper because they thought this paper is really difficult. So I this video I'll be doing one. I'll be discussing this paper lah. So this is the paper one, as the Pahang MS trial. So I will skip the formula and then let's get started. Okay, number one, diagram one shows a straight line graph. Okay, what is this? This is natural logarithm. Okay, before we start, there's a few things we need to know first. Okay, we need to know what is this, right? So if I mention this thing, ln, it means natural log. Natural log means log base e, right? Log base e. Okay, so if I give you something like this, ln, and I said 5, what it means is log base e 5, all right? Or you can also say log 5 base e. Okay, so what if I say ln e? What does it mean by this? It means log e base e, all right? And what is log e base e? 1, because when the log base and the log number is same, you can potong becomes 1. Okay, so yeah, this is what the ln means lah. And if you look at your calculator, there is one specific button you can press for the ln, which is beside log, right, in your calculator. Okay, now let's continue for now. So they say diagram one shows a straight line graph, log y base e against log x base e. So let's just write it here. This is log y base e. Okay, ln means log base e. Same thing here, log base e x, right? Okay, now it says express y in terms of x. This is definitely linear law, Christian. So if you want to express small y in terms of small x, you first need to find your gradient and y-intercept from this first. Because after you find out your gradient and your y-intercept, then you can put in this equation, right? And you can put it substitute inside the gradient and y-intercept, and the y-axis you will write the log y base e, and the x-axis you will write log x base e, right? But first we need to find the gradient first lah. Okay, how to find gradient? We need two coordinates. We have two coordinates here. Yes, we can use these two coordinates to find gradient. The formula is y minus y divide x minus x. So I'll take 13 minus 3 divide 8 minus 3. Of course, you can also take 3 minus 13 divide 3 minus 8. Can also, you will get the same answer. 13 minus 3 is 10, 8 minus 3 is 5, the m is 2. After I get my gradient, I can substitute inside the gradient, which is y, which becomes y equals, m is 2, so I'll just write 2 and then big X plus c. Okay, the big Y and the big X, I recommend don't substitute the log y base e and log x base e inside first. I recommend don't do that first, okay? Because I recommend finding the c first, all right? Okay, what is c? C stands for y-intercept, and you can clearly see the y-intercept, they never give you in the diagram. So what you have to do is you have to substitute any point that the line got passes through inside this equation to find the C. Because in order to find C, I just need to have the big X and the big Y. Do you agree? So what we substitute now is we can substitute any point yang ada passes through lah. So which point got passes through here? We can use 3, 3. We can use 8, 13 also, up to you. Okay, if you use the other point, you'll get the same answer also. So I'll just write passes through here. Passes through means melalui, and then I will write 3, 3 here. And of course, the 3 I will substitute inside the x. The other 3 I will substitute inside the y. Okay, okay. When I substitute, the big Y is 3, the big X is 3. Okay, I will write like this. And now I can find my C, right? 2 times 3 is 6. Move that, become minus 6. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. So now I have my equation. Y equals to mx plus c. The m is, what is the m? 2 just now, right? So 2x plus c, right? And then the c, I find it already, is negative 3. So let's write minus 3. Okay, of course, this is not the answer, all right? Because the y-axis and the x-axis is actually something else, right? It's not y and x. That's why I use a capital letter. Okay, that's why I use huruf besar. So the y-axis is actually log y base e. So definitely I have to write log y base e equals to 2. And then the x-axis, they use log x base e. So of course I have to write log x base e minus 3. Right? So the question asks us to express small y in terms of small x. That is why you cannot stop your answer here. This is big Y, big X. So my job is to make the y single, make the small y single. What does it mean by make the small y single? It means I only want y on this side. Okay, the y have to be single, nothing else, right? So what happens to the log base e then? I have to do anti-log. Do you remember how to do anti-log? If I have log something base something equals to something, what we can do is we can perform anti-log. What is anti-log? It means we can pindah the log to the other side. But when you pindah the log to the other side, the log base will become the number base, and this number will become the power. And then this is it just stay there. All right. So let's do that now. But before I do that, I want you to know something. When you have a number, any number, let's just give an example, 3 base, any number, okay, let's say it's base 3, and I ask you to power log 8 base 3, right? So when you have any power and sorry, when you have any number and the number got power log, and the log base and the number base is same, you can cut them. Means you can potong them. So when you cut here, the answer will be 8. All right. I will give you one more example. If I have 5 power log base 5 and then 7, can you see this number, this base is base 5, right? And this number got power log. So when power log, you just check whether their base is same. If the number base and the log base how to say, they are same by coincidence, you can cut them. It means the answer straight away 7. Only if they are same, you can cut like that. If they're not same, cannot. Okay, one last example. Let's give 9. This one I give log, and then I put 2 here, and then I put 9 here, and then I put 2 here, right? Okay, what would be the answer? Okay, some of you maybe you will say cut because because just now I mentioned, right? If the number got power log, and then the log base and the number base is same by coincidence, you can cut them, right? Okay, you are right. Memang betul you can cut because 9, the number base and log base is same. But what happens to the 2? You don't tell me when you cut, it becomes 22 like that. No lah, cannot. So before you cut, what you have to do? Of course, you have to bring the 2 up here, becomes power first. It will become log 9, 2 power 2. Because you learned before, if the log number here got power, you can bring in front. It means that if in front got number, you can bring it up like that. After you write this, then only you cut. Then you will left with 2 power 2, and the 2 power 2 will be the answer, which is 4. That is the final answer. Do you understand? Okay, why I want to mention this first? Because you will be using this for this question. All right. So the first thing first is you don't do anti-log first, because if you look at this, when you pindah the log, when you do anti-log, the log base here, the E, when you move that will become number base, correct? That is why I will try to make this whole thing simplify first. So the log base E, I don't want to do anti-log first. But here, I will try to make it into a single log, all right, if possible. So what I will do now is I will write like this, log base E, and then the 2, I will bring it up, become x squared, all right? And then the 3 here, I will write 3 times 1, right? Which is same as 3 times log EE, all right? Because log E base E is 1. I already mentioned up here. Do you remember just now? Yeah, log EE is 1. Okay, maybe you ask me why. Okay, everything will make sense later. Now you just listen first. So now you just follow first. So log y base e here, and I try to make it single log here. Okay, later you will know. Later you will understand why I do like that. Right? So I'll write log e x square, and then same thing. The 3 I will bring it up. The reason why is because later I want to combine these 2 log into a single log, right? So I have to make sure depan log tak boleh ada number dulu lah. So the 3 have to naik atas, and it will become power like this, all right? And why I do like that? Because I know separate log minus can combine become single log. But when you combine single log, you have to divide whatever inside. Means you have to take x power 2 divide e power 3 like this, right? And now here is still log y base e, and now only I will do the anti-log. All right, now only I will do the anti-log. So what happens when I do the anti-log? It means I will pindah the log to the other side. And what happens when I pindah log? We have logs. If we have log something base something equals to something, like for example, log a base b equals to c. When you do anti-log, you will pindah the log to the other side. And what happens to the log base? It will become the number base. And then a is still here, and then the c becomes the power. This is how you do anti-log, right? So what happens when you move the E here? It will becomes E power this whole thing. This whole thing becomes power. It means I will write up here because it's power. That's why, like this, right? And do you remember just now I mentioned something? If your number got power log and the number base and the log base same, what you can do is you can cut them, right? But make sure depan no number first lah. If depan got number, bring it up first, right? So can you see depan log tak ada number, and also the how to say, the number got power log, and kebetulan the number base and the log base same. So what we can do is cut them out, cut them. So what happens when you cut them? You left with x squared over e power 3, and then this will be y, right? And this will be the answer, right? Because I already find y in terms of x, so this is the answer lah. Okay. So yeah, this is how I would do it. Okay. Okay, hope you understand. Okay, these are all not the working. These are all just my explanation, right? So this one you don't have to copy in your working. All this is just now I'm trying to explain to you the concept. So this one all is not important. The working is here, right, on the right side. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's read the question. Number 2a. Diagram 2 shows the function of m that maps set A to set B. Okay, set A to set B. So I think I can write my first function out, which is mx, right? Because they say A to B means A is the starting, B is the ending, and then the function is m. And you can look at the arrow is going this way. So mx equals to x plus 5, right? Mx equals to x plus 5. This is my first function, map A to B. And then it says, whereas the function of n, okay, n, I think it's this one, which is represented by x squared minus 2. So nx, I can write x squared minus 2, maps set B to C. So from B to C is the function nx. And the nx, they already give me x squared minus 2. So can I find the image of x plus 5? Yes, right? Because if I'm doing function n, it means x plus 5 will be my object, and this p will be my image. And since they give me the function already, x squared minus 2, so it's very easy to find p. You just substitute the x plus 5 inside the n, inside the x here and here, the n function, right? But let's see what they want first. Okay, now we keep reading. Given that p is an expression in terms of x, okay? And then soalan number 1, find the value of t if m inverse t plus 2 equals to m minus 2. Okay, very obvious. The first question, they don't want you to find p, right? I think second question only they ask you to find p. So the first question, what I will do is I will write down this thing first. M inverse t plus 2 equals to m negative 2. Okay, I think the first thing is to find m inverse x. Do you agree? Because if I want to find t using this, I need to make sure I have mx and m inverse x. Then only it's possible to solve for t. But now I only have mx and nx, right? So definitely I need the m inverse now. So let's find m inverse. So how do we find inverse? Okay, I will usually do it like this. I will let depan equals y, and then belakang equals y. All right. So it means I will let whatever in front, mx equals to y, and then x plus 5 equals to y. And then I will find x both sides. So here I will find x. When you pindah m, it will become m inverse, right? M inverse. And then when you find x here, you will get y plus 5 become minus 5, right? And since x is m inverse y, it means m inverse y is equals to y minus 5. Therefore, m inverse x is equals to x minus 5, right? So I already find my m inverse. Now I can start to do this question. M inverse t plus 2 equals to m negative 2. So can you see this on the left side? The function is m inverse, and I already have m inverse, which is x minus 5. So I can write down the x minus 5 here, but the x I have to change to t plus 2. Okay, because the bracket x, now I write bracket t plus 2, right? So the x at the back also you have to change to t plus 2. Okay, what about on the right side? The right side is m negative 2. The function here is m. Do I have function m? Yes, it's here, right? So can you see m, they are the same function. So can I write the x plus 5 down here? Yes, I can write x plus 5, but be careful. Don't write x plus 5. Why? Because this is m bracket x. I don't want m bracket x. I want m bracket negative 2. Means the x have to substitute with negative 2. It means the x at the back here also have to write negative 2. Okay, after you reach here, it's very easy already. This is like even for one student can do, right? You just pindah. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. T equals to 6. And that's the answer, right? Okay, next question for second, part 2. So A part 2, they want to state expression of P. This one I told you in the beginning already, how to find P. Use the nx function, right? I mentioned just now. So nx equals to x squared minus 2. And since now, if I want to find P, means I'm finding the image of x plus 5. Do you agree? Because when you are looking at function n, x plus 5 will be the object, p will be the image. It means x plus 5, you just ganti inside the x. x here and here. So it will become n bracket x plus 5 close bracket equals to x squared minus 2. Of course, this x also you have to change to x plus 5. And of course, I will expand it, right? Don't leave your answer like this. So when you expand it, you will get x squared plus 10x plus 25 minus 2 is 23, right? So this is your answer. Okay. Okay. Is it too fast for you? Okay, let me explain slowly. X plus 5 square means like that. X plus 5, x plus 5. So when you explain, it's like x squared. X times 5 is 5x, 5x plus 5x, 10x, 5 times 5, 25, right? But there's a minus 2 here, so 25 minus 2, I get 23. So this is the answer lah. All right. So this is the working. Okay. So hope you understand my explanation. Now we move on to the B question. Okay, let's read the question. Given that kx equals to p over x minus 2, x cannot equals to 2. Okay, this is the undefined case for this function. Why there is an undefined case? Because when x is 2, the denominator will be 0. When 2 minus 2 is 0, you will get math error. Because you can plus 0, you can minus 0, you can multiply 0, but you cannot divide 0. Because when you divide 0, you will get math error. Okay, so I repeat one more time. You can plus 0, you can minus 0, you can multiply 0, you can times 0, but you cannot divide 0. When you divide 0, you will get math error in your calculator. That is why when your denominator have x, there will be undefined case. All right, and for this function, the undefined case is 2, because yeah, if x is 2, the denominator would be 0. That is why. But when you write your working later, you don't have to write this in your working. Okay. Okay. Let's start with question number 1. Find gx in terms of p given that gkx equals to this. So they give you composite function. This is what we call a composite function. And then they give you a single function. This is called a single function. This is called a composite function. And they ask you to find gx, which is the single function. So how do we do this type of question? How I teach you? Okay, for my own student, I always tell them, if they give you composite function and they give you single function, you will always start your working with the composite function. So I'll write down my composite function and I will use big bracket gkx equals to 5x minus 8 over x minus 2. And I already tell you, you don't have to write down the undefined case in your working. All right, so just write like this. And now your next step is to determine whether you have the inside function. If you have the inside function, then you have to let later. Later, you have to let if you have the inside function. But if you don't have the inside function, then you don't have to let. All right. It means there is two methods to do this type of question. All right. Whenever you see the soalan give you one single function, one composite function, there will be two methods. Satu method is like you don't have to let one. Satu lagi method is like you kena let, right? And the one yang kena let is the susah sikit punya version, all right? And this question, you bagi tahu saya lah, inside function have or don't have. We always do dalam first, right? So dalam function is kx. So do we have kx? The answer is yes. It means I have to let later, right? But now I will masukkan the inside function first. So what is the kx? P over x minus 2. I will masukkan first. But the g, I will leave it here. And then the 5x minus 8 over x minus 2 also, nothing happened. Just write it beside like this, all right? Now you will realize you cannot continue because you already have the inside function and you already masukkan the inside function. Now it's time to do the outside function, but the outside function is g and you don't have the g. There's no g here. This is k, this is gk. The gx memang tak ada. And now you have to let. You have to let, right? But what about if dalam tak ada? If inside function don't have. Okay, if inside function don't have, outside mesti have. So if outside don't have, if inside don't have, you just tengok outside and then continue your working. That one you don't have to let. All right. If inside don't have, all right. It's very easy to memorize. Just remember, kalau inside have, kena let. Inside don't have, tak payah let. That's all, right? Dalam bahasa Melayu, kalau dalam ada, kena let. Kalau dalam tak ada, tak payah let. Soalan ni dalam ada kan? So, kena let lah. So, and do you remember how to let? Let y equals to the bracket, okay, which is p over x minus 2, and then find x, okay? I repeat one more time. You have to hafal. This one, there's no formula one. You just have to hafal the steps. The step is like this. Let y equals to bracket, okay, which is p over x minus 2, and then find x. How to find x? Well, you can conteng a bit beside here. Y is equals to p over x minus 2 now. So if I want to find x, you can pindah a bit like, so the this one I can pindah the whole thing down here. become times. So y times x is xy, y times negative 2y equals to p. So now I can find x, it will be p plus 2y over y. So this is my x, p plus 2y over y. Now we will rewrite this equation, but when we rewrite, we will not write g bracket, we will write gy, because we already let y equals bracket. That is why this whole thing becomes y already. And what happens to the 5x minus 8 dy x minus 2? What happens to this? The x also have to change to p plus 2y over y, okay? But why I write like this is because I realize uh, this is a fraction, all right? And then here also got fraction. That's why I use the sekolah rendah punya cara to write the divide, right? Instead of writing it, how to say? Instead of using, instead of writing this whole thing down here, right? Because it will look very messy if I do that, right? Okay, let me just write nicely because my handwriting very ugly. Okay, 5, what is it just now? X minus 8. So the x is this, p plus 2y over y. Okay, and then minus 8, close bracket. This one also got a bracket here. And then this one is p plus 2y over y minus 2. Okay, so now I can find my gy. Okay, when you take 5 times this, you only times with whatever on top. So 5 times p is 5p, 5 times 2y is 10y, and then over y minus 8. 8 is 8 over 1, right? So what you can do is you can take the 8 times y also. So eventually now it will become negative 8y. And then the whole thing will be over y, right? For those who don't understand, I just take the 8 times y, that's all. Because I want to make the denominator same, that's all. And then I can write atas macam tu. Okay, this one divide, I will write divide. Okay, what is p plus 2y over y minus 2? Okay, you buat macam tadi lah. P plus 2y, and then what you do with the negative 2? You times with y, because you want the denominator to be same, right? And after the denominator is the same, you can take the whole thing over y. Okay, after you reach here, now you can simplify. 5p, okay, 5p cannot do anything, but the 10y minus 8y I can become plus 2y, and then the whole thing over y. Divide can tukar jadi times, but when you tukar jadi times, the denominator and the numerator, you have to flip it upside down. So when you flip it upside down, the y will duduk atas now, and the p will duduk bawah. 2y minus 2y will cancel each other, become 0. So you just left with this. And then now you can simplify further. Y and y can cut. So what is your gy? It will be 5p plus 2y over p. But they ask for gx, right? So just write gx equals 5p plus 2x over p. All right? So this will be the answer. Okay? So let me write. Okay, there's not enough space here. Let me write oh, what happened? 5p plus 2y over p. So let me write here lah. So gx is equals to 5p plus 2. Okay, the y have to change to x over p. The p don't change. The p is still p. Only the y change to x. Okay, so this is your answer, right? Is that what they want? Find gx in terms of p. So yeah lah, in terms of p. So this is your question 1 answer. What about question 2? Hence state the value of GP. This is easy because you just continue from your last question working. Your last question, you already find out your GX. So can you see, I'm finding GP. My function is G. This function is also G. So they are the same function. It means I can write down whatever here again here. So I'll write 5p plus 2x over p. But I have to be careful because for the x, I cannot write x. I have to write what? Look at this. This is G bracket X. I don't want G bracket X. I want G bracket P. It means my bracket X changed to bracket P. So what happens to the X on the other side? It will change to P also. 5P plus 2P is 7P. 7P divided P is 7. So this is how you get full mark. All right. So hope you understand. Now we can continue with the next question. All right, let's read the question. Number 3. Given alpha and beta are the roots. So whenever you see the word roots means these two are the x-intercept. Roots means x-intercept, right? X-intercept. So, or you can also say the x1 and the x2. It means alpha and beta are the x1 and the x2. Okay, roots means x-intercept or x, okay, of this equation. So let's write down the equation first. 2x squared minus px plus q. Okay, always make sure it's in general form first, right? If it's not in general form, convert to general form. Okay, I think this is general form. The a is 2, the b is negative p, the c is q. So this is already very how to say, very nice general form equation. And then it says P and Q are constant. Soalan A, it says state value of alpha plus beta and alpha times beta in terms of PQ. All right, definitely use the Sopor method for this question because they already tell you alpha and beta are the roots, right? So definitely you will be taking the roots plus together equals to negative B over A because that's the formula for SOR. So what is the formula for SOR? X1 plus X2 equals negative B over A. What is the formula for POR? X1 times X2 equals to C over A. So this is the formula that I will be using for this question. So now what I will do is I will write both the roots alpha, X1 equals alpha, X2 equals beta. Right? Now we can use the Sopor method. But before you use Sopor, make sure your equation in general form first. But this one is already in general form. So what is the SOR formula? X1 plus X2 equals negative B over A. So just write it down. Alpha plus beta equals negative B over A. What is the B and what is the A? The B is negative P, the A is 2. So now you will get your alpha plus beta. You will get alpha plus beta equals negative, negative become positive. So positive P over 2. This is your first answer. How to get your POR? POR is you take x1 times x2 equals C over A. So what is your x1 times x2? Alpha times beta. So alpha times beta equals to C over A, which is Q over 2. And this is your answer. So what they want you to find? Alpha plus beta and alpha times beta in terms of P or Q. So this is the answer. This is the answer. All right. So now let's continue with B. So this is A. Okay, B says find the value of P and Q if 2 over alpha and 2 over beta are roots of another quadratic equation. So let's write down this new equation, 3x squared minus 12x plus 8 equals 0. And it's also in general form. Very important, it must be in general form. Because if it's not general form, you can't do the Sopor method, all right? And now you can write down the roots for this equation. X1 equals to 2 over alpha, x2 equals to 2 over beta. And I'm sure this alpha and this beta is the same as the previous question alpha beta. It means I can use the previous previous question answer to help me solve this question, right? So what you do, you will do Sopor also. You will do Sopor also, all right? But don't forget, they want you to find P and Q. So, we do Sopor first. What is the Sopor formula? X1 plus X2 equals negative B over A. So, yeah, take the 2 over alpha plus 2 over beta equals to negative B over A. You don't go and equals to this B and this A. No, no, no. That one is the other equation, right? I'm using these two roots, and these two roots is the roots of this equation. So obviously I have to take this B and this A. So what is the B of this? Negative 12 over 3. Now you will get negative, negative, positive. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then you will end up with 4 on this side. But what about here? 2 over alpha plus 2 over beta. Okay, do you remember just now I told you you can use the previous working to help you in the B question. It means when you're doing B, you will use your A answer to help you. But how? This is 2 over alpha plus 2 over beta. I only have alpha plus beta and alpha times beta. Okay, you can combine this into what? Into how to say? Into a single fraction. And how to do that is you make the denominator same lah. So you take this one times with beta, this one times with beta, but this one you will times with alpha times with alpha. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to combine everything to a single fraction. So now your denominator become alpha beta, and whatever on top now, it becomes 2 beta plus with 2 alpha. But you can write the 2 alpha like this also, right? Because 2 beta plus 2 alpha and 2 alpha plus 2 beta is the same thing, right? And now you can actually substitute the alpha beta Q over 2. So this one, the down part is Q over 2. But atas is 2 alpha plus 2 beta. I don't have 2 alpha plus 2 beta. I only have alpha plus beta. So what to do? Factorize out the 2 lah. When you factorize out the 2, you will left with alpha plus beta inside the bracket. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I know I can substitute the alpha plus beta with P over 2 later. So now it's easy to solve already. 2 and 2 can cut. So you will left with P divide Q over 2 means times 2 over Q. Right? I repeat, P bahagi Q over 2 means P times 2 over Q. All right? It means the divide can change to times, but you have to flip it upside down. So now, how to how to continue? Actually you can't continue, right? Because it's like you have two unknowns, right? So I think I'll just stop here and I will do POR first, right? I'll do POR, then only I see whether I have to do simultaneous or not. Okay, so let's do POR now. POR is the formula is x1 times x2 equals C over A, which is 2 over alpha times 2 over beta equals to C over A. The C is 8, the A is 3. This one you will take atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. So it will be 4 over alpha beta equals 8 over 3, right? Hey, wait, this one I do it correctly. Why it looks like, why does it look like, uh, apa? We continue the pore first. So 4 over alpha beta equals to 8 over 3. So don't forget the alpha beta, I will refer to my previous A working. Alpha beta is Q over 2, so I will substitute inside here. And I will tell you one more time, 4 divide Q over 2 means 4 times 2 over Q. Divide can change to times, but you have to flip it upside down. So now you will get 8 over Q equals 8 over 3, correct? So now how to find your Q? You can cross multiply lah. So darab silang. Q times 8 is 8Q. 3 times 8 is 24. So your Q will be 3, right? But you still have to find your P. So since now you find your Q already, now you can substitute inside here lah. So it will be P times with 2 over Q, which is 3. I find it just now, equals to 4. So now it will be P equals to 4 divide, because the hubungan here is times, right? Hubungan here is darab. So times 2 over 3 become divide 2 over 3. Okay, divide 2 over 3 means times 3 over 2, right? So now you will get 6 here, right? So I think this is the answer, right? Okay, but did I do everything correctly? Yes, right? So yeah, I think correctly. So this is the working. Okay, let's continue. Okay, number 4. I think this is progression. Okay, so first thing first is read the question first lah. Okay, let's read. Given 3q minus 2q plus 3q are the first three terms. Okay, if they say first three terms means these three terms are consecutive, and also these three terms are the T1, T2, and the T3, because they mention first three terms, right? So there's still a lot of terms at the back, but this is the first three terms of an arithmetic progression. So definitely it will be A and D later. And then soalan A is find value of Q. Okay, how to find value of Q? Okay, you remember this. When your progression is not complete, when your progression is not complete, tak lengkap. Apa maksudnya tak lengkap? Means got unknown, got X, got Q, got P, got K. Like you, how to say? When there is unknown in the progression, most of the time you will do it like this. Kanan tolak kiri sama dengan kanan tolak kiri, right? Most of the time, okay? When I repeat one more time, when you do your exam, SPM, if you saw the exam question is like this, when the progression have unknown, most of the time, I can say 90% of the time, you will do like this. Kanan tolak kiri sama dengan kanan tolak kiri. Kalau arithmetic lah. But kalau geometric, you jangan minus, you bahagi. Means you take kanan bahagi kiri sama dengan kanan bahagi kiri. Means T3 bahagi T2 equals T2 bahagi T1. Kalau geometric. But since this is arithmetic, that's why I minus. So now it will look like this. Q plus 3, open bracket, and then minus T2. Silap. Sorry. T3 is Q. So Q, open bracket, minus T2, Q plus 3, and make sure you write the bracket, equals to T2, which is Q plus 3, make sure you open bracket, minus T1, which is 3Q minus 2, and make sure you open bracket. If you don't open bracket, it will be wrong, because if you don't open bracket, you thought this one is minus 2, but actually it's plus 2, because when you open the bracket, when you expand, the negative 2 here will change to positive because of this minus, right? So now let's open all the bracket. So when you open bracket, what happens here? It will become minus Q minus 3. Because when in front, when the bracket in front is minus, all the sign inside, you may have to tukar tanda for everyone inside the bracket, right? Okay, the Q plus 3 here, in front got negative or not? No. So this one you can just write it down. But this bracket in front is negative, right? So what happens here? When I open the bracket, everyone inside, semua orang dalam ni kena tukar tanda. So 3Q becomes negative 3Q, minus 2 become plus 2. Okay? So remember, when depan bracket is negative, everyone inside the bracket have to tukar tanda. But what if depan bracket is plus? Then no need lah. Then no need. Okay, Q minus Q can cut, become 0. And then here is negative 3. Q minus 3Q is negative 2Q. 3 plus 2 is plus 5. So I want to find Q. Let's try to make it positive. Bring it over here, becomes positive 2Q. Negative 3 becomes plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. So Q is 8 divided 2, which is 4. So I think this is the A answer. Okay. So now we can do B. So B, let's see what they want. Find the sum of 7th term to the 14th term. Okay, I already have my Q. So now I can rewrite my progression, but this time I have my q already. So the first term is 3q minus 2, which is 3 times 4 minus 2, because I get my q just now. And then the second term is q plus 3, which is 4 plus 3. And then the t3 is just q, which is just 4, and so on. So what is my first term? 3 times 4, 12 minus 2, 10. 4 plus 3, 7, and then 4, and so on. So what is my a? 10. And what is my d? 7 minus 10, negative 3, right? They already mentioned it's arithmetic. Huh? Okay, now they want to find the sum of 7 to the 14th term. What you have to do here is you have to find the S14 minus the S6, all right? Okay, do you understand why? Because if I want to find S7 term until 14 term punya sum, it means I need to find T7, right? Sorry, I need to find T7 plus T8 plus T9 plus T10 plus T11 plus T12 plus T13 plus T14. This is what it means, right? Of course, you can also use the Tn formula to find, but it's very slow, because if you use the Tn formula to find, you need to find T7, T8, T9, T10 until T14 and then add them separately like this, which is very slow. Usually we just use the Sn formula. But when you find S14, you are not finding T7 until T14 punya sum. When you find T14, you are finding T1, T2 until T14. But saya tak nak pun T1 sampai T14. Saya mau T7 sampai T14 saja. Sebab itulah saya kena tolak dengan S6. Sebab S6 is T1, the first 6 terms. T1 plus T2 until T6. So do you understand what I'm trying to do now? I find the S14, which is the sum from T1 to T14, and then I minus the first 6 terms. Okay, I minus S6, which is the sum from T1 to T6. And then the balance is the one I want. Lah. Then I get this already, which is what I want, 7 to 14, right? But a lot of students, they make careless mistake. They will look at this, and then they will say S14 minus S7. It means they want to do fast. They just say, oh, sum of 7 to 14. And then they will straight away write S14 minus S7 without thinking they do like that. And then wrong already. Okay, so remember, you cannot take S14 minus S7, because when you minus S7 means you tamau the 7. You buang the 7. But the 7 sekarang you tak nak or you nak. The 7 now is you want the 7, right? You want the 7 to be there. You want from 7 to 14. So you shouldn't minus the S7. You only should minus the sum of first 6 terms. The one, because the sum of first 6 terms yang saya tak mau. The 7 onwards saya mau. So saya tak boleh minus S7. Alright? Okay, I hope my explanation help you understand. Now let's use the SN formula. Okay, let's write down the formula for SN here. It will be N over 2 big bracket 2A plus N minus 1D. This is the formula for SN uh, for arithmetic progression. So this case, my n is 14, so it will be 14 over 2, big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d, right? So let's put in the a, n minus 1, and d. So what is the a? 10. What is n minus 1? 14 minus 1 is just 13, and then the d is negative 3, right? So this is the S14. And then now you have to minus with S6. So your n will be 6, so it will be 6 over 2, big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. So what is the a this time? 10. The n is 6, so n minus 1 is 5 lah. And then the d is negative 3. And now time to press calculator lah. Okay, 14 divided 2 is 7, right? But let's press inside the bracket. 2 times 10 plus 13 times negative 3. Okay, my calculator give me negative 19. But don't forget to times with 7 afterwards. So you get negative 133. And then minus 6 divided 2 is 3, right? But we have to press this in our calculator and see what I get. So let's press 2 times 10 minus 15. I get 5, but don't forget to times 3. My calculator give me 15, right? 15. So let's press negative 133 minus 15. So what is the final answer? Negative 148, right? So if you get the same means, correct already, okay? So this is how you get full mark. So this question is worth 5 marks, so that's all, right? Okay, let's continue with number 5A. Table 1 shows the pattern of indefinite integral of functions. Hey, what is indefinite? Indefinite integral means when you integrate and there is no number here, then we call it indefinite. Then what is definite? Definite means when we have a number here, like for example, AB or 3, 7, something like that, right? So when you have numbers, we call it definite integral. And when it's indefinite, it means there's no numbers. And when there is no numbers, here, after you integrate, you have to write plus C at the back, right? But if it's a definite integral, means there is numbers here, you will not write plus C. Okay, this number you have to substitute at the end. You have to substitute this number inside the equation after you integrate, right? But that one is indefinite integral. Okay, let's keep reading. Table 1 shows a pattern of indefinite integral of function y equals 4x, 4x squared, 4x power 3 until 4x power n. And these are all the workings. All right, so for question 1 says what? Make a general conclusion by induction for integrate 4x power n dx. Okay, this doesn't look like Addmaths. This looks more like maths. Okay, it looks more like maths combined with Addmaths, because this induction thing is like you learn in Matematik form 4. Form 4 Matematik, chapter 3 or chapter 4, I forgot. It's called logical reasoning. Because logical reasoning, you learn about deductive argument and inductive argument, right? And this is inductive, right? Inductive means they give you specific premises and you have to make a general formula. But deductive means they will give you the formula first. It means the premise one will be the general one, the general formula, and then only they will give you some specific statements. All right. So I repeat one more time. Inductive means specific to general, but deductive is general to specific, right? But this one is inductive, okay, induction. So now I have to make a conclusion, means I'm trying to make a general formula for all this working, right? So let's write down the integrate 4x power n dx first, right? 4x power n dx. So it will equals to what? Okay, whenever I got teach mathematics also, right? So whenever I teach this chapter, all right, memang saya ajar student macam ni. You just look at all the specific, because these are all specific punya premises. Specific means they put in a specific value inside already. This one is like the general. They never put in any value. They just call it n, right? So whenever I teach this chapter and I'm teaching this part, the induction for my maths student, I always tell them, just look at all the specific punya premise and see siapa yang tak tukar. It means who is siapa yang ada dekat situ every time. So can you see 4 over 4 semua ada kan? So you pun ikut saja. It means those that stay there, you just copy there. And then bawah is 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1. So yang mana yang tak tukar? Which one it stay the same all the time? The plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, right? So this one also plus 1. But did you see that the number in front is keep changing? 1, 2, 3. So the one that keeps changing, you will write n. You will write n. Okay? Because this n is same with the whatever power here. Did you realize if your 4x is power nothing means power 1, then this is 1, right? So if this is power 2, this is 2. If this is 3, this is 3. So if this is n, then this one is n lah. This one is n lah. That's why you can write n plus 1 here. And then what about this? X, X, X. Everyone also have x. So your general formula also will have the x, right? So it means siapa yang, how to say, siapa yang ada dekat semua ni, you just ikut saja, right? Because everyone have it, so you will also have it. But now is will be power 1 plus 1, power 2 plus 1, power 3 plus 1. So you cannot write power 1 plus 1. You have to write power n plus 1. The reason is because everyone got plus 1 belakang. So that's why you can write plus 1. But depan is like everyone keeps changing 1 to 2 to 3. That's why it will be same with just now lah, where you have to write n lah, right? Because if here is 1 plus 1, here is 1 plus 1, here 2 plus 1, here 2 plus 1. So if here is n plus 1, here also n plus 1 lah. And then plus c, plus c, plus c, everyone also plus c, so you also plus c lah. And then finish already lah. This is the answer. So remember this. This will help you in mathematics, okay? Yeah, because this is actually for maths, right? And you will ask in SPM sometimes also. Okay, they will say make a general conclusion. They will ask like that, right? And yeah, this is how you do it, right? Just look at all the specific premises and then see whatever that stay the same, you also stay the same lah. Siapa yang tak tukar, you ikut. Tapi yang tukar, kena tukar jadi n, alright? But there is still one more thing you have to write. Actually, I forgot to tell you. Your n, you have to refer and see what they substitute with the n, right? So this n and this n, they use what? 1, 2, 3, right? Which is same with the power here, exactly same. So you have to write 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 right? So your n can only be 1, 2, 3 ataupun 0, 1, 2. Okay, for logical reasoning, I'm actually teaching maths now, right? But since it's come out here, that's why I'm explaining. So your n can only be 1, 2, 3 or 0, 1, 2. It cannot be like 2, 4, 6, 8 macam tu, tak boleh. Kalau macam ni you have to try your best to, it means you have to simplify it lagi. It means if it's 246, maybe you have to change it to be 2n. Because when you change it to 2n, then only it will become n equals 1, 2, 3, right? Because 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. But anyways, I just want to, how to say, mention a bit lah, for this. Okay, hopefully you understand. But for this question, the answer is this one lah. This one let me erase. Okay, so this one is the answer. Okay, okay. Okay, let's continue with second question. Let's read. Write one condition for the value of n and state the meaning of C. So I want to write the condition for value of n. Okay, so I have to refer here and state the meaning of C. Okay. Okay, the first thing first is n cannot be n cannot be 1. Sorry, n cannot be -1. Because if you look at this, the denominator have n, right? And if the denominator have n, it means there will be an undefined case for n. What is undefined case? Undefined case, it means this value will make this whole thing be math error. It means if the n is -1, it will be math error. You know why? Because -1 plus 1 is 0. All right. So that and when you divide by 0, you will get math error. Okay, it means you cannot divide by 0. Okay, it's impossible. So n plus 1 cannot equal 0. Therefore, n cannot equal -1. Okay, this is your working. All right. So remember this: you can plus 0, you can minus 0, you can also times 0, but you cannot divide 0. This is not possible. You can only plus 0, minus 0, times with 0. Divide 0 cannot. Okay, if you press calculator, any number divide 0, they will not give you 0. They will give you math error. That is why if the denominator have unknown, you have to make sure the okay, if the denominator have unknown, there will be an undefined case, right? And the undefined case is you have to make sure the whole thing down here cannot be 0, right? So since the whole thing down here is n plus 1, so the whole thing n plus 1 cannot equal 0. So n cannot -1, because when n is -1, -1 plus 1 is 0, right? So I already answered the first part of the question. N cannot equals -1. The next part is state the meaning of C. Okay, C is just a number. Okay, C will be just a number, right? The reason why we write the C is because whenever we differentiate number, I will get 0. You understand, right? Because integrate is actually the reverse of differentiation. So whenever I said integrate this one, I get this one. It means like this, the process we call it integrate. Then how do we get back from here to here? I will differentiate, right? But why we write C here is because we don't know the number. When we differentiate number, it will just be 0. All right, it will just be 0. It means the C can be 100, it can be 1 million, it doesn't matter, because when I differentiate this, I will get 0 and I will get back the 4x. That is why C is just a number. So what I will call this number is a constant, right? It's a constant. Okay, constant means a number that is fixed, right? But since we don't know that number, that's why when we integrate, we call it C, right? So this is how you do it. Okay, let's continue. Okay, B, they actually want us to integrate, but you need to know something. Before integrate, you have to make sure the expression inside, kalau boleh expand, kena expand dulu. If you don't expand first, you cannot integrate. Same with differentiation. Whenever you can expand, you have to expand first. Before differentiate ataupun before integrate, kalau boleh expand, kena expand dulu. And then also, tak boleh ada x dekat bawah. Okay, so the first thing first is expand first. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times -x, -5x. X times 5, positive 5x plus, right? And then x times -x, -x squared. And the whole thing have to over with x power 4. And this symbol you have to write. This symbol, you only stop writing it when you start to integrate. Now you haven't started to integrate. You just try to simplify this. It means you are trying to get this ready for integration. So now this symbol and the dx still have to write. And then the x power 4, you leave it, because I realized atas boleh buat -5x plus 5x is 0. Now you're left with 25 minus x squared. Still cannot integrate. Why still cannot integrate? Because this bawah other x. If bawah other x cannot integrate. Differentiate also cannot. Yeah. When you differentiate also, x tak boleh ada bawah. So what you do is you can separate this. How do you separate this? Okay, you separate like this and you separate like this. Okay, you can only do separate like this when bawah ada satu term. Satu term means like this. The other plus minus sign dekat bawah. That's why you can separate. So when you separate, it becomes 25 over x power 4 minus x power 2 over x power 4. This is what it means when you separate. But you can only do like that when bawah ada satu term. Satu term means like this. right? There's no plus minus bawah, right? After you sampai sini, I will continue here. It will be integrate. This one cannot how to say? You still cannot integrate because other x bawah. But now you can bring the x atas. So when you naikkan the x, it will be x power -4. Okay. But make sure when you naikkan the x, atas tak ada x. Kalau atas sudah ada x, you tak boleh naikkan already. That is why this expression I cannot take the x power 4 naikkan because atas already have x. That's why I have to use another method, which is separate them. So I separate them. I pecahkan. After I pecahkan, now then only I can bring the x atas because now tak ada x. Okay, this one, even though I cannot bring the x atas because atas sudah ada x, but I can simplify this, become x power -2. Because when you have same base x divide, the power will be minus. So how you get the -2? 2 minus 4. And then here you write dx. Okay. Now everything cantik already. Now you can integrate already because the other x dekat bawah, and then everything is like nice and separated. Now you can integrate. And when you integrate, you will stop writing this symbol. You will straight away write big bracket. Okay. So now how to integrate? You will take the power plus 1 and then divide the new power. So take the power plus 1, -4 plus 1 is -3, and then divide the new power, which is -3. This one is minus, so I also write minus. X power -2, when you integrate, it becomes x power -1, divide with the new power, which is -1. And then close bracket, and the dx have to write plus c. Because this is an indefinite integral. Indefinite integral means there's no numbers here. If there's no numbers here, the dx have to write plus c. But if one day this is a definite integral, it means there's numbers here, you have to write down the number here and here. And you have to substitute the atas number inside and the bawah number inside and then minus. Okay? Itu kalau definite integral. But this one is indefinite. So this is the correct way. Okay, now we can simplify this. Try to make the power positive. 25 divide -3 is just -25/3. And now we decide whether the x have to stay atas or stay bawah. Okay, now the x is power negative and now it's at the top. So I think I have to make it stay bawah because I want the power to be positive. So I will make this longer and then letak bawah. Why I letak bawah? When I letak bawah, the base will not change, but the power will tukar tanda. Tukar tanda means the negative become positive, will change sign. And then what about this? -1 divide -1 is +1. And then the x power -1, power negative, duduk atas, saya tak suka. So let's make it power positive. And how? Just letak bawah. When you letak bawah, base, nothing happened to the base, but the power will tukar tanda. So it become x power 1. Power 1 tak payah tulis lah. And then here you just write plus c. Okay. So I think this is the final answer. And make sure when you write this, you write nicely. Make sure the line really covers until the x power 3. And the x power 3 have to write down. Cannot write up. Okay. It has to be below the line. Okay. Below, under the fraction line. Okay. So this is how I would do it. Okay, I think we can continue, right? Number 6, diagram 3 shows sector. I mispronounced, I said vector. Okay, shows sectors. AOB and COD with a common center. Okay, you need to know sector is a shape that consists of 3 lines. Radius, radius, arc. Then it's called sector. So they say this diagram got 2 sector, AOB and COD. Can you spot the 2 sector? AOB is this one, and then the other sector is COD. Oh, the big one lah. COD. So there is 2 sector, and they both have the same center. Oh, common center means same center. And they not just they have same center, they have the same angle also. Can you see this sector have same angle? The big one also have same angle, but they have different radius lah. One of the sector radius is longer. Now they say given that OA is 6 cm, it means OB also 6 lah, because these two are radius, so they are same length. So this one done. OA ratio OZ is 3:5. So let's label this. OA, the ratio is 3. So I will go to OA and write 3, but make sure I bulletkan because it's ratio. And then OC is 5. OC is 5. So what is this? This is 2, right? Because OC is the whole thing. So if the whole thing is 5 portion, OA is 3 portion. To get the AC portion, I take 5 minus 3. And can I find the AC panjang now? Yes, because ratio 3 is equivalent to 6 cm. 3 macam mana nak jadi 6 times 2. So 2 macam mana nak tukar jadi length times 2 also lah. So this is 4 cm. It means this will be 4 also. It means the radius of big sector is 10 cm. This is the radius of the big sector, the COD sector. Okay, so done. And then the arc length CD is 25/9 pi. So CD arc means the lengkung ataupun the lengkok is 25/9 pi. So I think it's referring to this line, right? Arc right? So and the arc CD is 25/9 pi. So definitely later can use which formula? S equals R theta, because that's the formula to find arc in this chapter. Okay, S equals R theta. And then now they say find the value of theta in terms of pi. Okay, they want in terms of pi, so we don't press the pi later in the calculator. We don't have to press the pi. Okay, so now we already have the arc, which is 25 over 9 pi, right? And we have the radius, okay? But the radius, you don't put 6, you put 10. You know why? Because this arc is the arc of the big sector. That's why you have to take the big sector radius, which is 10, and then times with theta. And then what is theta? You don't know. You want to find, right? So now when you find theta, you will get your theta in radian. So what you press, you just press 25 divide 9 divide 10. Don't press the pi. Okay, don't press the pi. Okay, 25 divide 9 divide 10. Okay, my calculator give me 5 over 18. Okay, why don't you press the pi? Because they already mentioned in terms of pi. So that's why the pi will just be here. Okay, and it will be, you write in the middle means dia duduk atas. Dia atas punya, right? And why is it in the middle? Why is it atas punya? Because the pi never move, right? When it's here, dia duduk middle, means dia atas punya. But saya tak pindah pun, right? It's the 10 yang pergi sini. That is why the answer is 5 over 18 pi, or you can also say 5 pi over 18 radian. Okay, so this is the answer. So I think this is quite easy. Okay, nothing much. All right. Okay, 2 marks only. So yeah. Okay, let's continue with number 7. I think this is permutation and combination. Diagram 4 shows an 11-letter word. So Mississippi. So 11 letters. And then soalan A says find the number of different ways to arrange. So the keyword here is arrange. So we have to use permutation, all the letters in a row. So there is 11 letter. If I want to arrange all 11 letters in a row, the number of ways will be 11 factorial, or you can also say 11p11. But if you look at this, there are some repeating letter. Okay, there's repeating letters, and in this chapter we call these repeating letters, we call them identical object. Identical object. So when we are doing permutation with identical object, we have to use a different formula. Let's write down here: permutation with identical object. Identical means what? It means same lah, ataupun repeat. Okay, the same thing repeat. Okay, identical object. So permutation with identical object means when we do permutation, when there is like repeating, okay, same thing repeats. So the formula we have to use is like this: n factorial divide a factorial b factorial c factorial dot dot dot, where the a, b, and c is the number of identical objects. Okay, it means the ABC is the amount of times the same thing repeats. Okay, that's what the ABC represents. So this is definitely not the answer. It's not 11 factorial. I still have to divide with, let's see how many times the same thing repeats. Okay, so let's see how many is the number of identical object. So in this question, you can see the I repeats quite a few times, right? And to be exact is 4 times. That's why you have to divide with 4 factorial, because 4 is the number of identical object, right? Number of I, identical I, number of identical I, right? And also the S also repeat, S, 4 times also. So the number of identical object for the second letter, which is S. So the number of S is also 4. So it's divided with 4 factorial. And then finally, which one repeat? P and P. So the number of identical object is 2 here, right? So 2 factorial. Okay. So now we will press this in our calculator. So this is how you calculate the number of ways. Okay, when you press this, please press bracket. If you don't press bracket, wrong. Okay, because if you don't press bracket, you press 11 factorial divide 4 factorial times 4 factorial times 2, confirm wrong. Okay, unless you tekan bahagi lah, unless you tekan 11 factorial divide 4 factorial divide 4 factorial divide 4, like that correct. Okay, but the safest way is to press bracket. Okay, or maybe you tekan bawah dulu. Kalau you takut, you tekan bawah dulu. So what I will do now is I will tekan bawah dulu. 4 factorial times 4 factorial times 2 factorial equal first. Equal first. And then they give you 1152. Now only I tekan 11 factorial divide answer. This is the safest way to press calculator. So 34650. Okay, 34650. Okay, hope you understand. This is the answer for part A. Now let's scroll down. Let's do part B. Okay, I'll do the part B question here. Okay, let's read. Iskandar has to attend an annual dinner in his school. I don't care. The council committee set a dress code such that all black outfit is not allowed for male students. Okay, this is important. All black outfit is not allowed. Okay, I'm sure this will be important later. In Iskandar's wardrobe, 3 out of 5 shirts are black. So he has how many shirts? 8 shirts. Oh, no, 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 no. He has 5 shirts. 5 shirts, right? So this is Iskandar's wardrobe. Okay, this is Iskandar's wardrobe. 5 shirts, right? 5 shirts. But 3 of them is black. 3 black. Okay. So the other 2 I can say is not black. So I write NB, just write short form. Hey, this one tak ada markah one. This one I just locate to how to say it's for me to easy imagine. Okay, 2 out of 4 pens are black in color. It means in total got 4 pens, right? 4 pens. But 2 of them is black. So the other 2, the remaining 2 must be non-black, right? And then it says find the number of ways he can choose his outfit to the annual dinner. Of course, the rule here is all black is not allowed, right? So let's write down all the possibility first. Let's not look at this first. Let's look at all the possibilities. So what are all the possibilities? Iskandar can go there, all the possibilities. So maybe Iskandar can go there with black, right? It means black shirt, black pants. Or the other possibility is black shirt, but not black pants, right? Let's call it N. Or maybe the shirt not black, but the pants black, right? This is also one of the possibility, right? This second one is shirt black, pants not black. But this one is shirt not black, pants black. And of course, the final possibilities is shirt not black, hands also not black. So these are all the possibilities, right? But do you have to buat semua? Tak payah. Tak payah. You don't have to buat semua. You only buat yang soalan nak cari saja. So the soalan only want you to find all black fit not allowed. Because I'm finding number of ways he can choose his outfit to the dinner. So he cannot choose all black. So definitely I cannot take this. It means I'll take here, these 3 add together. All right. Which is a shirt, pants. This one is black, not black. Or you can say shirt not black, pants black, or shirt black, shirt not black, shirt not black, pants also not black. Okay, I hope you understand what I write here. So now it's time to calculate. Okay, I will use the combination, by the way, because this is choose. Definitely is combination because I'm choosing. So I will choose from how many shirt black. So shirt, I want to choose black. It means 5C3. It means from 5 total shirt, I have to choose 3 because I want it to be black. Times with pants not black. Pants total got 4, but I want to choose a non-black. Sorry. What am I doing? Mabuk. Sorry, sorry. It's not 5C3 lah. Because if I say 5C3 means what? It means I choose 3 shirt to wear. Ayo, sorry. I don't know what my brain is thinking. This should be 3C1 lah. Correct ah? Because I want my shirt to be black ma. So definitely I cannot choose from 5, right? I have to choose from these 3 only. Because there's only 3 black. So I'm only choosing 1 shirt to wear. Okay? Sorry, I made a mistake just now. And then pants not black. Pants not black, we have to choose from here only. Which is the 2, means there's only 2 non-black pants. I just choose 1. Okay? And then times together. Okay? And then now you put in bracket and then you do another one. Okay? Another one. But this time, but here you write plus. Okay, you write plus, right? It means this is the second option. When it's the second option, I have to write plus, all right? But when it's within the same option, I have to write times. So now the second option is shirt not black. Shirt not black means what? There's 2 non-black shirt, so you are choosing 1 to wear, and then pants black. Okay, pants black. There is 2 total, but you are choosing only 1 to wear, and then times them together. And finally, the last one is shirt not black. Pants also not black. So shirt not black. Okay, non-black shirt got 2 only. So 2, you choose 1 not black shirt to wear. And then out of how many pants not black? Pants not black is 2, right? 2 here, right? And then choose 1 not black pants to wear. Okay, now it's time to press calculator. This one will be 6. This one will be 4. Because 2 times 2C1 is 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times 2 is also 4. And then add everything together, you get 14. Yeah. So this is how you do it. Okay, let's continue with second question. Find the number of different ways to arrange Iskandar and 5 of his friends at the round table. Okay, let's talk about round. Circular permutation. Just now I talked about permutation with identical object for my question A. Now it's time to talk about circular permutation. Okay, do you remember how to do circular permutation? Which formula I have to use? Siapa masih ingat formula dia? So the formula is what? N factorial divide by n. Okay, or you can also say n minus 1 factorial. This is the formula when we want to arrange n number of people in a circle. Okay, this formula. This formula also works. This formula also works. They are the same. Yeah, they are the same. Okay. Okay. Sometimes we will use the p, right? Can also it will be npr divide r lah. Npr divide r. Okay. It's the same thing lah. Okay. Sometimes you will see this word bracelet, bracelet, or necklace, bracelet or necklace. So if you see the word bracelet or necklace, you have to take n minus 1 factorial divide 2. And then the NPR divide R, instead of divide R, you divide 2R. This is only when it's a bracelet or necklace question, because bracelet and necklace, the direction is not important. The direction is not important. And when the direction is not important, we have to divide 2. Okay. But for this question, I don't think it's a bracelet necklace. This one is just, we're just choosing how many people to sit and how many people in total. What is the n? 6, right? Because Iskandar and 5 friends, so it's 6, right? But since I'm arranging them in a round table, it means circular permutation. I have to take 6 minus 1 factorial, okay? Which is same as 5 factorial, and it's 120. Okay, of course you can use the other formula that I show you just now, which is this one, n factorial divide n. Can also, if you write n factorial divide n, you will do 6 factorial divide 6, and believe me, you will get 120 also. Okay, so there's two ways to write this lah. Okay, let's continue with number 8. Diagram 5 shows a triangle EFG. I think this is coordinate geometry. So EFG, huh? Okay, E coordinate give you already, F also give you, but G didn't give us. Let's keep reading. Let's see what it says. Point L divides FG in the ratio 1 to. What does this mean? L divides FG in the ratio 1 to 2. So this is the ratio. It means I have to bulatkan lah, because these are the ratio, right? And since they give us this ratio, we can actually find point G, right? Do you know how to find point G? We would use the which formula? The formula yang kena darab silangan, okay? So we will use that formula lah. Okay, this formula we learn it under divisor of line segment. Okay, and the formula is like we take the point darab dengan ratio yang jauh. Okay, but let's not find it first. Let's see what they want. Okay, this one can cut already. GE equals to 3GK. This one for those students yang tak tahu macam mana baca, I will teach you now. This one you have to, this is actually, this information is trying to tell you the ratio for GE and GK. But you need to know how to baca this, because a lot of students don't know how to baca. Okay? So how I teach my own student, I will always tell them, dalam baca dengan dalam, luar baca dengan luar. So GE ratio is 3, GK ratio, nothing here means 1. So GE is 3, GE means the whole thing is 3, GK is 1, so this is 1. And if the whole thing GE is 3, it means the KE ratio would be 2. Okay, and now this one can erase already. Okay, but of course some students, they will do it, maybe they can say like, hey sir, what if I do like that? I change to fraction. It means I take the GK, I pindah jadi bahagi equals to 3 over 1, and then GE ratio GK equals 3 ratio 1. Can also. Can also. If you do it like this, GE ratio is still 3, you see? And then GK ratio is still 1. Yeah, it's the same. You can do this also. All right. But usually for my own student, I want you all, kalau boleh, you know how to baca macam ni, you know also how to baca macam ni also, right? That's why when I teach them how to baca terus, right? So, but if you're not confident with yourself, you want to convert to fraction, convert to ratio, boleh juga. Okay, all right. I think now I can start doing A already, because I already labeled everything. So find the coordinates of K, which is, where is K? This point, right? Okay, it's impossible to find point K actually, because even though you have the ratio and you have the point E, point yang hujung ada, but the other end you don't have this point, right? So if you want to find point K, you need to have ratio and both points on the side, right? It means you need to have ratio, both ratio and both points dekat hujung. So dekat hujung sini ada, tapi sini tak ada. So I think I have to find point G now. And how to find point G? Just now in the beginning I already mentioned you can find point G by using this line, right? So let's find point G. So what I will write here is I'll write point L. Okay, maybe you ask, hey sir, why you write point L? Okay, because when you use this formula is called divisor of line segment formula. We will always write the point in between. And then only we will write bracket, line, line. And the formula works like this. You will take the point yang dekat hujung and you have to darab dengan ratio yang jauh. This is the formula. It means you have to darab silang like this. Alright? You don't go and take G times 2, F times 1. Itu memang salah. Itu memang salah. You have to times with the ratio yang jauh. Okay? Okay. The formula looks like this. You will take G, which is xy, and then you will times with 1. It means here you write x times 1. Here you will write y times 1. Some student, they will write the y times 1 here. I don't understand why. Because y is supposed to be the y coordinate. Of course, you have to write after the comma. You cannot write here. Here is for the x coordinate. Okay. Okay. After you take g times 1, you will take f times 2, which is 14 times 2, 11 times 2. 14 is the x coordinate. So you will write before the comma. 11 times 2 is the y coordinate. Of course, you write after the comma. And then if there's nothing in between, means plus here, here also plus. And then what about down here? Down here is the ratio add together. All right. 2 plus 1, 2 plus 1. Okay. If you don't understand what I'm doing now, I'm just using the formula that you learn in Form 4, Chapter 7 or Chapter 8, the coordinate geometry chapter. Okay. I'm just using that formula. Okay. All right. Don't forget the point L, you have it, is 11, 13. So you should write it down actually. And now you can simplify this part. So 2 plus 1 is 3. And then here will be x plus 28. Right. The other part, 2 plus 1 is 3. And then here will be y plus 22. And now you can compare both sides. Of course, you will compare the x coordinate with the x coordinate. It means x plus 28 over 3 equals 11. And then compare the y coordinate with the y coordinate. Y plus 22 over 3 equals 13. Now I can find my x and y. Let's press calculator. 33 minus 28, positive 5. 13 times 3 is 39 minus 22. My calculator give me 17. So now I have my xy, and the xy is actually what? Point G coordinate. So now I can write G coordinate is 517. But of course, this is not the answer yet. This is definitely not the answer because they want you to find point K, right? So now I will erase all this. I will erase all this and I will write point G 517. And now I will continue finding point K. But which formula I will use? The same formula that I used just now, right? But this time, can you tell me, do I write point K equals, point G equals, or point E equals? I have to write point K equals, because if you got pay attention, I mentioned to you already, when you write this point, you always have to write point in between. That is why just now I write point L equals. I never write point G equals, even though I'm finding point G, because you have to write point L equals. The formula is like that. You have to write the divisor in front. The divisor means the point in between. So in this case, who's the divisor? Who's the divider? K lah. K is the one in between, so point K. And the formula will be bracket, line, line like this. Okay, what you write atas, I told you already, is darab silang. So make sure you know the formula. So how you darab is like you take the point dekat hujung and you have to darab dengan ratio yang jauh. Same thing here, darab dengan ratio yang jauh supaya dia ada silang. Okay, now you will write down the formula here. So what you take first, E darab 1. Lepas tu point G darab 2. Actually, you want to take G darab 2 first pun boleh. Okay, okay, let's do E darab 1 first. So it will be 2 times 1, 2 times 1. 2 is x coordinate, so 2 times 1 you write here lah. But the other 2 times 1 you don't go and write here. No, no, no. That one is y coordinate. Y coordinate you have to write after the comma. So write like this. After you take E times 1, you will take G times 2. It means 5 times 2, 17 times 2. 5 is the x coordinate. You have to write before comma. So 5 times 2 right here. 17 times 2 is the y coordinate. So you have to write after comma. If there's nothing in between means plus. Tengah bawah will be the ratio add together. It will be 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. Now you can find your point K. 1 plus 2 is 3. This one also 1 plus 2 is 3. This one press calculator, you will get 12. Press calculator, you will get 36. And then now you will get 4. This one is 12. So what is your point K? 4, 12. So let's write nicely for them. Point K, 4, 12. So I think like if you do like that, you can get 3 marks already. So let's also update our diagram, because I'm sure later the next question you will be using all these points to you will need these points, right, to solve the next question. So I think it's important to label here. Okay, 4, 12. And then the G also, I have it already. Okay, now let's see B, what they want. Okay, B, it says find the simplest ratio of triangle GKL to the area of triangle EFLK. Okay, what does it mean by find simplest ratio? It means they want you to get the area of triangle GKL. So the area of GKL divide by the area of EFLK. This is what they want now. Okay, because when you divide and then you simplify these two numbers, you will eventually get the ratio. Okay, because when you write in fraction, you can convert to ratio easily. Because if let's say this one is 3/5, means the ratio is 3/5, right? If it's 5/7, then it's 5/7. So now my job is to find the area first, right? So which area I want? Triangle GKL. Okay, the formula I will use to find area in a Cartesian plane is this: 1 over 2 modulus x1 y1 x2 y2 x3 y3, and then before you close modulus it will be x1 y1. And make sure the xy here, all these coordinate represents the vertices of the triangle. Okay, but if it's quadrilateral, it will be the same formula. It's just that you have to tambah lagi satu vertex here lah, because quadrilateral got 4 vertex, so you have to tambah satu dekat sini, x4 y4. Okay, that's all. All right, let's where should I do it? Okay, let's do it because I need the points. So okay, is there any space down here? Okay, there's space down here, but let's write down the points first, right? So I want GKL. So I make sure I have the all the GKL coordinate. GKL is this one, right? So do I have all the vertices of this triangle? Yes. G is 517. Let's write down. Okay, let's just write here. So G is 517. Okay. G is 517, and then K is what is it, 412, right? And then L is 1113, right? So now I can find my area of GKL down here. Okay, so let's do it. Let's write it here lah. So area of triangle, okay, let's write like this: triangle GKL. GKL. So let's use the formula 1 over 2 modulus. We will write our coordinate like this. So the first coordinate I will write 517, and then 1412, sorry, 412, and then 1113. And before you close the modulus, repeat the first one, 517, right? So this is how you write the formula. After you write this, now you can start to darab silang. When I say darab silang means you will start dari atas, which is 5, and then you will you will darab silang like this. Means it will be 5 times 12, which is 60, plus 4 times 13, press calculator, 52, plus 17 times 11, 187, and then minus. Okay, why suddenly minus? Because I changed the direction. Because now I have to go back in front and do like this. That's why I minus, change direction. 17 times 4, use calculator, 68. So write it there. And then minus 12 times 11, 132, minus 13 times 5, 65, and then close the modulus. Now you will press all this inside your calculator. 60 plus 52 plus 187 minus 68 minus 132 minus 65. Okay, my calculator give me 34. And then we have to modulus first, then only I can divide by 2. So what is modulus 34? Okay, when you modulus a positive number, you will also get positive. Okay, and then what is 34 divided to 17 units square? Okay, I think I already successfully find the area of GKL, but I also need the area of EFLK so that I can take the area of GKL 17, divide the EFLK to get the ratio. Okay, so later I have to divide, find ratio ma. Okay, let's separate it here. Okay, so area of EFLK. Of course, we have to make sure we have the coordinate for EFLK. Then only it's possible to find the area. We need to have the vertices, all the vertices. So do I have EFLK coordinate? Point E have, point F, yes, got. L and K also have. So now I have to write down the coordinate here. So point E is 2, 2, and then point F also have, which is 14, 11, and then point L sudah ada 11, 13, this one, and then point K is 4, 12, right? So I will use these 4 points to find the area. And which formula I will use? I will use the same formula I used just now. Okay, but this time is a quadrilateral. So this time you have to write 4 coordinate inside. Okay, so let's write down. Okay, we cannot start from whatever point we want. We have to, okay, we can start any point we want, But make sure the next point have to be a point yang kita ada sambung ke sana. Okay, let me show you what I meant by that. Let's say I want to start with E, right? Start with E. So E is what? 2, right? So the next one, you cannot write L. Because E, tak ada line pergi L pun, right? So if you write L, then obviously wrong, right? It means you cannot write in any order you want. But if it's a triangle, you can do that. Because triangle, let's say you start from here. Dia ada join sambung K, dia ada sambung L. That's why, yeah, you write which one also, it doesn't matter, right? Let's say you start with K. Yeah, you can write G next, you can write L also because it's a triangle, right? But if it's a quadrilateral, you have to be careful because there are points that you cannot write. If dia tak sambung, you tak boleh tulis. For example, I start with E, right? It means the next one I cannot write L. I can write K, I can write F, but I cannot write L. Let's say I write E and then I write K. Then the next one must be L and then F already. I cannot write the order to be E, K, F, L. Memang tak boleh. Like that memang wrong because K tak ada line sambung F also. So let's go E and then go K, which is 412. So 2, 2 afterwards is 412, which is K. So if I write K now, the next one I cannot write what? The next one I cannot write 14, 11. I cannot write F. If I write F, salah, because K tak ada line sambung ke F. I must write L now. I must write L now, which is 11, 13. Right? 11, 13. So 11, 13, and the last one is very obvious already, is 14, 11. And before you close modulus, always repeat the first point, which is 2, 2. Okay? But maybe some student, they want to do it different. Can also, you can also write like this. You can also write in this order. 2, 2, 14, 11, 11, 13, 4, 12. Can also. Alright? Just make sure the next point you tulis, kena ada sambung baru boleh. Okay? Kalau tak ada line sambung sana, tak boleh tulis. Okay? Okay, now it's time to cross multiply like just now lah. So always start dengan atas and then darab silang. 2 times 12, 24 plus 4 times 13, 52 plus 11 times 11, 121 plus 14 times 2, 28 minus. Why suddenly minus? Because I have to go back in front and then change direction. 2 times 4, 8 minus 12 times 11, 132 minus 13 times 14. Okay, this one I cannot calculator. I need calculator for this one. 182. So minus 182, and then the last one, 11 times 2, so minus 22, and then close modulus. So now you use calculator and then you will get the answer, right? So let's press all this inside the calculator. 24 plus 52 plus 121 plus 28 minus 8 minus 132 minus 182 minus 22. Okay, my calculator give me negative 119. But area cannot negative, right? That's why there's a modulus there, right? So when you modulus the negative, it becomes positive, right? And then what is 119 divide 2? I think you will get, let's see. Let's press divide 2. Okay, my calculator give me 59.5, positive 59.5. So this is the area of the quadrilateral, 59.5 units square. Okay, unit square. But do you remember what they want? They want ratio, right? But the ratio is like you want this one bahagi this one or this one bahagi this one. Siapa bahagi siapa? Okay, I also forget already. Let's read one more time. Simplest ratio of siapa to siapa. GKL to EFLK. So definitely is, this one I write GKL, are you? GKL or GKL, okay, GKL, correct lah. Correct dia. Okay, so I want ratio of GKL to EFLK. So GKL punya ratio to this. It means definitely I have to write 17 ratio 59.5 means 17 divide 59.5, right? And you can use calculator to press this. Okay, you don't have to simplify yourself. Just let your calculator do the job for you. So just press 17 divide 59.5. So the calculator straight away give me in fraction 2 over 7, right? So what is the answer? 2 ratio 7 lah, right? It means that the ratio of triangle GKL to EFLK is this one, 2 ratio 7. Okay, 2 over 7 means 2 ratio 7. So hope you understand. Now we continue. Okay, let's continue with question number 9. I think this is a progression question, right? Okay, let's read. Diagram 6 shows part of an arrangement of several rectangles. So this one is rectangle. The first rectangle has a length of 120 cm and a width of 189 cm. Let's label it. Length of the first one is 120, width is 189, right? And then the next one, the length and the width of each subsequent is 3 over 4 of the previous measurement. Oh, that's why it's smaller lah. Okay, because it's the length of the subsequent means the next one, right? It's 3 over 4. So you can see it's the rectangle becomes smaller, 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 and smaller, right? So can we calculate the next length and width? Yes, right? Just take 120 times 3 over 4. So let's press calculator. What is 120 times 3 divided 4? 90, right? And then here also I can press 189 times 3 divided 4. So it's shorter, right? 141.75. That's why the whole triangle is smaller. Now do again 90 times 3 over 4, which is 67.5. And then 141.75 times 3 divided 4. Okay, my calculator give me like 106.3125. So write that down. 106.3125, right? Okay, it means the length of the rectangle can form a arithmetic progression or geometric progression. Geometric progression, right? Because just now I remember I times with a number. I didn't plus minus, I times divide. So definitely the length of the rectangle can form a geometric progression. But guess what? The width also can form a geometric progression, the width, right? So later I think I have to read the next question very carefully because I need to know whether I need to form the progression using the length or the width. So now this is the very important part. We have to read very carefully and see what they want. Find the smallest value of n such that the area of the nth rectangle is less than 100. So I'm trying to find n where the nth rectangle is less than 100. So can I write a progression using the length or the width? Of course cannot, because I need to know which rectangle has an area less than 100. It means my progression has to be area. I have to use the area to write the progression, not the length or the width. Because like that only I can find the n. Because n is the n rectangle has to be the n in the geometric progression with area. Okay, I hope you understand what I meant. Because the soalan asked for area, they never ask you to find length of the n rectangle or the width of the n rectangle. They ask you to find the area of the n rectangle, and the area of n rectangle is less than 100 lah. Okay, so now let's write down the area. But how to find the area of first rectangle? Just take the 120 times 189. So let's just press, see what I get. 22680, and obviously this is cm square, okay? But I will not write the cm square lah, but I know it's cm square. And then the next one will be 90 times 141.75. I get 12757.5. The last one, it will be 67.5 times this, right? So 67.5 times 106.3125. Okay, my calculator give me 7176. Okay, 7176. 0.09375, and then dot 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 dot. Okay, all right. I sudah berjaya tulis the area. I tulis the progression using the area. Now I can find my A, which is 22680, and I can find my I find the difference or the D or R. Okay, I think this is a geometric progression. Okay, this is geometric. Let me prove to you it's a geometric. You can take this kanan bahagi kiri and see what you get. So 12757.5 divide 22680. Betul tak? You dapat 9 over 16. Betul kan? So you write 9 over 16. Okay, tell you, let me show you how I will prove to you that this is a geometric. Just now you take this one, which is the T2 bahagi T1, right? And you get 9 over 16. Now you try taking T3 bahagi T2 and see what you get. Let's just press calculator. 7176.09375 divide 12757.5. Did you see that your calculator give you the same answer, 9 over 16? So it means for sure this is geometric already, right? If T2 bahagi T1 is not same with T3 bahagi T2, it means you did something wrong already. It means that is, maybe it's not geometric, maybe it's arithmetic, right? But since it's same, then now you know for sure already it's geometric. Okay, after you write down the AR, now only you start to focus on the question. They want you to find the smallest value of n. It means they want to find n where the area of the n rectangle is less than 100. So this is the first rectangle area, second rectangle area, third rectangle area, but I don't know which rectangle area, okay, will be less than 100. So the Tn will be less than 100 because I don't know. So I want to find the n, right? So now you will use the Tn formula for geometric progression. And do you know the formula? What is the formula? AR power n minus 1. This is the formula we use. So now my n I don't know, but my a is 22680, so I can put in there, and then times with r, which is 9/16, and then power n minus 1. The n I don't know, right? I want to find, so just write n minus 1 lesser than 100. Now we just simplify this lah. How do we simplify? Okay, the correct way here is to pindah the 22680 to the other side. Okay, because I want this question to be like an indices question. After I pindah, then it will look like an indices question. Then I can check whether they can tukar same base or not. Okay, now we press 100 divide 22680. My calculator give me 5/1134. 5/1134. Okay, so I will write down the 5/1134 here, and now it becomes like an indices question already. But we have to check whether these two numbers, 9/16 and 5 whether they can change to same base or not. If they can change to same base, you should change to same base. But if cannot change to same base, you will tambah log both sides. Okay, you will tambah log both sides, right? And when you tambah log both sides means your answer will come out ugly answer. Because cannot change to same base ma. So yeah, okay, all right. Can we change this to this and with same base? The answer is no. You look at the fraction also, you know already. This answer and this answer is like got decimal one, so it's very hard to change same base. So what we do now is tambah log both sides. So I will tambah log on this side, and the other side also I will tambah log. And what about the log base? Okay, you can put any base you want, but usually we put base 10, right? Because later when we want to rely on our calculator, we always use base 10. Okay, base 10 is the standard one. So this will be 9/16, and then the power n minus 1 we can letak depan. Okay, do you remember log number if got power can put in front, right? And then the 5/1134, okay, this one just write it here lah. So now you can find your n minus 1, right? So I will straight away tell you, this smaller have to write bigger. Okay, Tupper, I will explain to you why the smaller suddenly change to bigger. Now you press this for me first. Log base 10 5/1134 divide this, right? Because this one you pindah they need divide. So let's press now. Log, okay, let me press log base 10 and then 5/1134. And then this whole thing divide with log base 10 9/16, right? So can you see they give you positive 9.427, right? So you will write 9.427 here. Okay, I promise you just now, I told you I will explain to you, right, why I write bigger. Okay, okay, maybe some of you know why, but some of you might not realize why. Okay, but I will tell you now. The reason why the smaller here have to change to bigger is because is a this answer, this the log 9/16 will give you a negative answer. All right, how I can know is a negative answer? Okay, when you tekan this this is also a negative answer actually. When you tekan this only, you will get negative answer. This one also negative answer. That's why when you take negative answer divide negative answer, you end up with a positive 9.427. But when you divide negative this sign you have to terbalikkan. It means smaller jadi bigger, right? That is why I have to how to say, I have to balikkan the tanda lah, alright? But in exam, how you want to know, right? How you want to know whether it's positive or negative? Well, it's very easy. You just check with your calculator on the spot. It means you don't press this one bahagi this one first. Okay, you don't do that first. You tekan this separately. Okay, because it's the only way you know whether it's positive or negative. So let's try to press log 9/16 now, base 10. Can you see they really give you negative? It's like negative 0.2499 like that, right? That's why lah. That's why I flip lah. Alright. Okay, I can give you one more tips. Okay, I can give you one more tips. When you log base 10, any number where it's 0 point something, you'll definitely get negative. Okay, log any number. Okay, not any number. It has to be 0 point something, right? So log 0 point whatever lah, 0.25, 0.7, 0.9, 0 point anything. Okay, so when you log 0 point something, you will definitely get negative. Doesn't matter 0 point what, it doesn't matter. Okay, when you log 0 point something, you will definitely get negative. That is why I can know so fast this one is negative, because 9/16 is less than 1. It means it's 0 point something, right? That is why I can do it so fast. Okay, but you don't have to know that actually. You can just do it on the spot, right? You can just use calculator and just double confirm on the spot. Okay, but you have to make sure you remember lah. You remember to double check this one. Okay, now you will continue here. You'll get 9.427 plus 1, which is 10.427. But n cannot have decimal, cannot have negative, cannot have fraction, because n is like a ranking, is like kedudukan. Tempat pertama, tempat kedua, tempat ketiga. Mana boleh dapat tempat ke 1.5? Tak boleh one. There's T1, T2, T3, but there's no T1.5 or T negative, no such thing one. So cannot have negative, cannot have point. So the n here, 10.427, I have to change to 11, right? Okay, why change to 11? Because bigger. Okay, because of the symbol bigger. So if you forgot to terbalikkan this sign, you write smaller, smaller here, then you salah lah, because you will write 10 here, then it's wrong already, right? Okay, why the answer have to write 11 is because n has to be bigger than 10.427. So what numbers are bigger than 10.427? 11, 12, 13, and so on. But why I choose 11? Because they want the smallest. The smallest value of n such that area is less than 100. It means when I go until T11, my area will be less than 100 for the first time. But when it's T10, my area is still more than 100. My area is still more than 100. That is why 10 is not the answer. Okay, 11 is the answer. So the first time where the area is less than 100 is when is when T11. Okay, then what about T12? T12 also smaller. T12 also lagi smaller, but they want the smallest value of n. Okay, but the first time that is smaller than 100 is during T11. Okay, I hope you understand my explanation. Now we go to B. B says find the sum to infinity for the area of rectangle. Since they want the sum to infinity of area of rectangle, it means I can use this progression, because this progression is, I use area to form this progression. So the S infinity formula is A over 1 minus R. The A is 22680. I just refer here, over 1 minus R, which is 9 over 16. This one, I recommend you tekan bawah dulu. Okay. So we tekan 1 minus 9 over 16 dulu, and then baru you tekan 22680 divide answer. Okay, my calculator give me 51840, right? And don't forget to write cm square lah, right? Because they even remind you here already, right? In cm square. So this is the answer. But for A, no need to write any unit, because A is n. N memang tak ada unit. Okay, n is just like number, right? Number of rectangle. So it's like 11 lah. So the 11th rectangle is, A punya area is less than 100. So there's no unit for n. Okay, let's continue. Okay, this is question number 10. Okay, I can see this is like a ice cream punya cone. Okay, let's see what it says. Diagram 7 shows an ice cream cone. Okay, I can see it. The volume V of the ice cream cone decreases. Okay, I know which chapter already. This one is differentiation under small change. Okay, why I can know so fast? Because small change punya topik memang macam tu. They will give you a old value, or you can call it original value, and they give you new value. And when you have a old value or new value, you can take the new value minus the old value to get the small change. And the small change, we will use delta. Okay, we will use delta to represent small change. We will use this symbol. Okay, okay, let's start by writing the first information first. The volume decreases from where to where? From 93.6 to 93. It means this is the old value of the V volume, and then this is the new value of the volume. So it decreased already lah. And then later I can get my delta V. Okay, which is the small change. But let's not find it first. Let's write down all the information first. Okay, now it says if the height of the ice cream cone is always 3 times the radius of ice cream cone. So let's use some alphabet to represent the height and the radius. We can use H to represent height, or we can use R to represent radius, or maybe some of you want to use J also can, because some of you learn in Bahasa Melayu, you want to use jari radius, can also. Okay, so they says the height is 3 times the radius, so H equals 3R, right? So whatever they say, I just write down in the dalam satu baris. Now they say find the approximate change. Approximate change means small change, right? It means they want to find delta R, because they want approximate change in radius when the radius is 3.1. So I want to find small change in R, means delta R when R equals to 3.1. So R equals to 3.1. Okay, I think I already write down all the information they give in the question in a straight in dalam satu baris macam ni. Now it's time to do the working. Okay, before I start, I want you to know something. For small change question is very easy one, but I don't know why students always think it's difficult. All right, small change is very easy one, because there's no formula to remember. Okay, the only thing that you have to remember is dy dx is almost equals to delta y over delta x. That's the only thing that you have to remember. Okay, because differentiation got a lot of type of question. There is small change, there is rate of change, there is a minimum maximum turning point, there is tangent normal, there's limit question. It's a very big chapter, right? But out of all the types of question, this is the easiest one. The small change is the easiest one, but students always say this one cannot do, right? But this is not difficult. You just have to remember this. Dy dx is almost equals to delta y delta x. Then what if I say dA dr? Then it almost equals to delta a delta r lah. This is what it means, right? So can you tell me in this question, there's only two delta here, right? One is the delta R, what they want you to find this, And then the other one is delta V, right? They never give us, but we can find because they give us V is decreasing from 93.6 to 93. So how to get my small change in V? My delta V will be 93 minus 93.6. You will get negative 0.6, right? Remember to take new value minus the old value. Bukan ambil besar tolak kecil. You have to take new minus old value. So I have my delta V, delta R. So using this small change formula, I think you know what I have to write already, right? It will be dV dr almost equals to delta V, delta R. Okay? Okay. Some student, they will ask me something like this. Hey, sir, why don't you write dr over dV almost equals to delta R over delta V? Okay, the reason is very simple because later, okay, actually you write like this can also. I never say cannot, actually can also. It's just that after you find your DVDR, you have to terbalikkan lah. You have to terbalikkan your answer lah, and then masuk macam ni. Can also actually. But it's much more recommended to write DVDR because later V represents volume and R represents radius. And later when you write your equation, your equation would be V in terms of R, bukan R in terms of V. That's why it's better to write V in terms of R. Okay. But if you look at this equation is H in terms of R. So you cannot differentiate this equation. Because when you differentiate, you were just gonna get dH dr. Okay, okay, tak apa, we try to masukkan information yang ada dulu. So what is the information yang kita sudah ada? So wait, okay, let me write this thing again here. dV dr almost equals to delta V over delta R. Okay, this one we erase. Okay, let's erase this. Okay, let's put in the information that we have first. First of all, delta V memang sudah ada, negative 0.6. I will tulis atas. Delta R I don't have because this is what they want you to find, right? That's why I put a question mark. So this is the final answer. This is what I need to find at the end. So what I have to find now? DVDR lah. DVDR lah. But how to find DVDR? First, I need to have an equation of V in terms of R first. Not R in terms of V, because if it R in terms of V, it will be dr dV already, right? So I need to have an equation V in terms of R. But in the question, did they give you any equation that is V in terms of R? No, right? They only give you H in terms of R. So I need to form the equation myself. It's not difficult to form the equation. You just have to remember the formula for volume of cone. What is the volume of cone formula? 1 over 3 pi r square h. This is the formula, and this formula is given in the exam. Okay, so because V represents volume of cone, and then R represents the radius of cone, so you can write down, you can relate the V and R using this equation, 1 over 3 pi r square h. But there is one rule when you differentiate. You cannot have two unknown on the right side, because when you have two unknown, you cannot differentiate. You understand? So it can only be V in terms of R ataupun V in terms of H only. That you cannot have V in terms of R and H. You cannot differentiate like this. That is why they give you the H here to let you ganti masuk, so that now the H becomes 3R. Now your equation is just V in terms of R. Pi is not an issue because pi is not an unknown. Pi is a number. So now 3R times, okay, 3 times 3, I think this one can cut already, right? Because 1 over 3 times 3 is 1, and then you just left with pi r power 3 because the 3 and 3 here can cut. So your V is pi r power 3. And a lot of students will make this mistake where they take the R 3.1, substitute inside this R. Hey, don't do that lah. Why you do that? Okay, if you do like that, salah. This R is for you to substitute after you differentiate. After you differentiate, only you will substitute the R. Okay, don't substitute now. You have to differentiate first. Means now you have to dVdr. You have to find out your dVdr. And how you differentiate? Take the power times with the whatever in front, and then the power minus 1. So nothing in front means 1 lah. So 3 times 1 is 3, and then power minus 1 is just 2. Now only you substitute the R with 3.1, and then now you will get your dVdr, which is 3.1 square times 3 pi. Use calculator. Okay, the pi, I will just use the calculator punya pi, and then times 3.1 square. Okay, I will just change the whole thing to decimal. It's 90.57. Okay, actually, there's still a lot of how to say, a lot of numbers at the back, right? But I will not write semua. I'll just write 90.57. But it's okay. Later, I will use the answer button. So the 90.57 is the dVdr. It means this dVdr, I'll write it here, right? Okay, let's put a line to separate them. Now I can find my delta R. I will press negative 0.6, divide answer, because the delta R can move up here. When it move up here, become times, and then 90.57 can move back down, becomes divide. It means you just switch place lah, these two. So now we press negative 0.6, divide answer. Use the answer button, it will be more accurate. Okay, so negative 0.6, divide answer. Okay, my calculator give me negative 0.0066245, okay, because the calculator give me times 10 power negative 3, right? It means you have to move the decimal point from here 3 times to the left. Why to the left? Because negative. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, negative 0.00662. Okay, this is how you get 5 marks, this question. Okay, all right, can we continue? Let's go. Number 11. This is probability distribution, but it's a difficult question. Okay, it's not like easy like the one you do normally, right? It's like a bit susah, but it's not that susah lah. Okay, let's go. In a study, a sample of n smartphone are chosen at random. So the n they never gave us, right? It is found that the probability that a certain smartphone is spoiled after 3 years is 40%. So the probability of spoiled is 40%, which is 0.4. 40 divided 100, right? Then what is the probability of not spoiled? Not spoiled. It will be 0.6 lah. Okay, 1 minus 0.4 is 0.6. Given the discrete random variable x represents number of spoiled smartphone that has been chosen. Okay, so far after reading this question, I know this is binomial distribution because I never see the word normal here. So if binomial distribution, what you have to determine from your paragraph, you have to determine your N, P, and Q, right? Your N, P, and Q. But the N, memang dia tak mau bagi you. But the P and Q you can determine because P and Q represents probability of success and probability of failure respectively. Now they give you two probability already, but do you know which one is the P, which one is the Q? You don't know. Because when I teach in class also, I tell you already, it you if you want to know who's success, who's failure, you have to look at the last baris. So if you read again one more time, given the discrete random variable x represents number of spoiled smartphones that has been chosen. So for this experiment to consider success, I have to select the spoiled handphone. Okay, it sounds funny, but that's what the question is implying. It's saying that spoil punya probability is probability of success. So the P must be 0.4 and the Q must be 0.6. Okay, because the last baris says number of spoiled smartphone. Okay, X, right? So please tell me what is your N. You have your P and Q already. What is your N? You don't know, right? You don't know, right? But let's just put any number. Let's say N is 5. Can you tell me what will be your X if your N is 5? It will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 0 is included. It means out of the 5 smartphone, maybe 0 success. It means 0 spoil. Or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 spoil. It means 5, lima pun success. Means lima pun spoil lah, right? But what if your N is 7? Then your X will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? It means your maximum value of X depends heavily on the N, right? So, but now it's very sad because I don't have the N, okay? But they give us something else dekat A. They says Px equals 5. It means probability of 5 smartphone spoil. It means 5 success lah. 5 success means 5 smartphone, because success means spoil, right? Is equals to 10 times with the probability of 4 success ataupun 4 spoil handphone punya probability. And then they says find the value of n. Okay, by using this information, is enough for me to find n already. Let me show you how. We will use the probability formula. What is the probability formula? Do you know? Px equals to small x equals to ncx, p power x, q power n minus x. Do you remember this formula? This is binomial formula. So this is the formula that I'll be using for this question. First thing first, my x is 5, but my n I don't know. So let's just write nc5. Okay, p power x, probability. So the probability is 0.4, 0.6. The power here will be same with the number down here, which is 5. Okay. And then this power will be atas tolak atas n minus 5. All right. I'm just using this formula. Now we will write 10 times. And then px equals 4. Use the formula again. nc4 bracket. First bracket is the 0.4. This one is 0.6. Atas punya power will be same with bawah, which is 4. And then atas tolak atas n minus 4. N minus 4. Siap. After I write this, now I try to solve for n. Okay, if you look carefully here, this is the combination NC5, right? And on the right side also got combination NC4. Then what about this one? This one is 0.4 power 5, which means this one, the base is 0.4. But if you look at the other side, there is also a base 0.4, right? Then finally, we look at the 0.6 power n minus 5, and this part also got 0.6 power n minus 4. It means we can, there's actually, how to say, you can do yang sama base kita boleh buat. For example, NC5, the 0.6 power n minus 5, I can divide with this. And then the 0.4 power 5 also can divide. So I'll write like this, times the 0.4 power 5. I will move the 0.4 power 4 becomes divide, right? Because everything here is times relation. So when you move it becomes divide lah, 0.4 power 4. And then times with, same thing here, 0.6 power n minus 5. I will divide with the 0.6 power n minus 4. Okay. And then what about the 10? The 10 also you can move here becomes divide, right? But should I move now? Okay lah, let's not pindah now lah. Pindah later lah. The 10 pindah later lah. The 10 I leave it here first. And then the NC4 also I cannot use calculator to calculate because I don't know the value of n. It means this one and this one memang tak boleh buat because I don't know the value of n. But this one can do. Yeah, this one can do because 0.4 divide 0.4 power 5 divide 0.4 power 4 is just 0.4. Because base sama bahagi, the power we have to minus. So 5 minus 4 is power 1, right? You can use calculator, press also, you'll get the same. What about this one? It will be 0.6 power n minus 5. Okay, the base is same and we want to minus. We want to divide. It means the power have to minus. So n minus 5 minus bracket n minus 4. The bracket have to write, if the other bracket salah. Okay, so now I simplify this, it becomes 0.6 power n minus 5, open the bracket, become minus n plus 4, which is 0.6. N minus n is 0, negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1, right? And don't forget, in front, there is NC5 times 0.4. Okay, let's use bracket lah. Everything just use bracket lah. Okay? So this one bracket, and then equals to 10 times, this one also use bracket lah. So times NC4. This one also got bracket, everything bracket lah. Okay, now it will be NC5 bracket 0.4 bracket this one equals to 10 bracket NC4, right? Now I can press this whole thing inside the calculator and then pita to the other side. Okay. Hey, wait, what is this? Okay, like this. Okay, so let's press 0.4 times 0.6 power negative 1. Or you can also press 0.4 divide 0.6. Okay, it's 2 over 3, right? And then the 2 over 3, I'll move there, becomes times 3 over 2. Okay, because this whole thing is 2 over 3, right? But when you move there, it becomes times 3 over 2, right? And what is 10 times 3 over 2? You can press quickly, you will get 15, right? So you end up with 15 times NC4. Okay, okay, we did a lot already, and somehow we end up here, but it's still not over yet. I still have to find n, right? So I think I don't have enough space already. I will continue up here, right? So NC5, okay, let's write down one more time. NC5 equals to 15 NC4. We have a problem now, right? We cannot solve the combination part because I don't have the n value and I cannot cut. Okay, I cannot cut unless this number is 5 lah. If this number is 5, 5C5, I can cut become 1. But the problem is I don't know the n, right? So now the only way to solve this is by using the combination formula. Okay, there is two formula, one for NPR, one for NCR. I don't know you remember or not. NPR formula is n factorial divide with r factorial. Wait, n factorial divide with n minus r factorial. The NPR formula. And the NCR formula is n factorial divide with r factorial times with n minus r factorial. So this is the formula for NPR, this is the formula for NCR. But we rarely use this formula. You know why? Because sometimes when you calculate NPR, we just use calculator, right? We just use calculator, right? But for this question, actually you can't use calculator. That's why we have to rely on this formula, right? So this formula I will use it now. So what is my NCR for this case? It will be, my n will be n, but my r will be 5, right? So when I use this formula, it will be n factorial, which is n factorial, divide with r factorial, nombor bawah, which my r factorial will be my r will be nombor bawah, which is 5. So 5 factorial, and then open bracket, n minus r, which is n minus 5 factorial, right? Equals to 15 times with the NC4. Same thing, you use this formula again. N factorial, n is the whatever atas. So atas is n, so n factorial over r factorial. R is the number below, which is 4, so 4 factorial, and then bracket n minus 4, close bracket factorial. Okay, now we can continue here to find the value of n. Okay, let's separate here. Okay, now what we do is we will write down this thing n factorial, and then here what I will do here is pindah this whole thing to the other side. Okay, so what I will do now, it will look like this: n factorial, this one 5 factorial, n minus 5 factorial, and then this whole thing, this one is times relation, right? When you move here, it becomes dy. Okay, okay. Or you can say like that. Look at this bawah one. Dia duduk bawah sebab apa? Dia duduk bawah sebab bahagi, right? So bahagi hantar to the other side jadi darab lah. So like that, right? It means now it will duduk atas. Yang bawah bila pindah akan duduk atas. And then this one duduk atas means dia darab. So when you move there, it becomes bahagi. It means dia sudah duduk bawah like that. And then equals to 15. Like that. Boleh faham, It means this whole thing I move to the other side already. So it becomes like this. And now you can see you can potong, right? N factorial and n factorial can cut. Even though we don't know n, but I know n factorial, when you calculate it, it's just going to be a number. This is also just going to be a number. And if they're the same number, of course I can cut, right? Even though you don't know n, you still can cut it because they are the same number, right? Okay, after you reach here, you will end up with 4 factorial over n minus 4 times with n minus 5 factorial, divide with 5 times 4 factorial times n minus 5 factorial. Okay, maybe some students don't understand what I'm doing here. Okay, you need to understand the concept of factorial if you want to understand this part, right? Factorial means, if I have, for example, 5 factorial, it means 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. If I have 4 factorial, means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So if I have 3 factorial, means 3 times 2 times 1. It means n factorial is actually n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 until I reach 1, right? Or you can conclude that n factorial is actually n times with n minus 1 factorial. So this is the concept here. N factorial is same with n times n minus 1 factorial. It means 5 factorial is actually equals to what? 5 times 4 factorial. You understand? And then 4 factorial is just 4 times 3 factorial. And then 3 factorial is just 3 times 2 factorial. And if you understand this part, then you know why I do this already. Now you know why I did this. Okay, 4 factorial, I leave it. N minus 4 factorial is actually what? N minus 4 times with the n minus 4 minus 1, which is n minus 5 factorial. Because the number before n minus 4 is n minus 5, right? Because the formula, okay, let's write the formula one more time here. N factorial, right here, n factorial is actually n times with n minus 1 factorial, right? So imagine if your n is n minus 4, So what happens here? It will be n minus 4 factorial equals to n minus 4 times with n minus 4 minus 1, which is n minus 5. That's why this thing I write like this. Okay, now can understand. But why I want to write like this? Because I know can cut. I can cut, you see? Because bawah also have n minus 5 factorial. That's why I purposely write like this, right? Then why this 5 factorial I change to 5 times 4 factorial? Because can cut lah. Because can cut. Because I saw atas got 4 factorial. That's why 5 factorial is actually 5 times 5 minus 1 factorial, which is 5 times 4 factorial. Now you will left with n minus 4 over 5 equals 15. Now is you can find the n already. 15 times 5 is 75, n equals to 79. Okay, so this is how you find the n. Okay, hope you understand. Now for my B, state the mean of study. Okay, this is binomial question, so of course you can use the binomial mean formula, which is n times p. The n you find it already, 79. The p you have to, depends on which one is the success lah. If they want mean for spoil phone, then you take the probability of spoil phone to be the p. So now you want the mean of this study, and this study which macam mana baru eksperimen ni consider success for this study? Spoil, right? Because this whole question they mentioned in the last baris, number of spoiled smartphone. It means this study is to study how many spoiled smartphone. It means spoil is considered success. So your probability of success is 0.4. So when you press this, you will get 30 something. Okay, let's press. Okay, you will get 31.6. So definitely that's the answer lah, 31.6. Okay, and since this one is number of smartphone, so I don't think you have to write any unit there. So that's all. Okay. All right, let's continue with question number 12. I think this is function. Okay, let's read the question. The function f is defined by this. Okay, let's write it down. Fx equals to modulus x minus 3 for the domain x in between negative 2, 8. Sketch the graph of f and state the range. Okay, if they want to sketch the graph, sometimes they will give us this, sometimes they will not give us this. But this question, they give us this. What do we call this? This is the restriction, or you can say the range for x-axis. Okay, it means later when you draw your graph, you have to restrict your point so that your paling depan punya point punya x coordinate is negative 2, and then paling kanan punya point punya x coordinate is 8. This is what it means by this. All right, it means they want to restrict your x-axis. Okay, they want to restrict the domain means x-axis. Okay, from negative 2 to 8. And then they say sketch the graph and state the range. Okay, if they want to state the range means they want you to write the range for y-axis, y-axis ataupun fx. Okay, it means this range is for kiri kanan punya, but the one I have to write later is for atas bawah punya range. Okay, okay, but now let's sketch first. Let's not worry about that the range part first. Let's sketch first. Okay, when we sketch, we have to make some points, right? We have to find some points, and usually we will draw a table, right? So that every point I can just put in the table nicely. Okay, how many points we need to find? Okay, we have to look at the equation, because sometimes the equation we might need to find more points. Like if it's a quadratic curve, then maybe I need more points because for quadratic curve you need turning point, and then sometimes there is more than one x-intercept like that, right? But this one is not going to be a curve. This is just a straight line, okay? Because can you see it looks like y equals mx plus c, right? It's just that there are other modulus, right? So it just looks like a straight line. But this straight line will reflect when it touch the x-axis because the modulus means uh, dia akan how to say semua garisan you akan berada atas x-axis. That's why the modulus means when the line reach the, because this is x-axis, atas is the positive part, bawah is the negative part. And if I say modulus means everything have to be positive, so it means when I reach here I have to the bawah punya part will reflect up. That's why the graph will end up looking like this lah, like a V shape. All right, so now we can try to find our points, right? Okay, if it's a V shape, you don't have to find a lot of points, you just find 4 points. All right, 4 points, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 points, right? And here you write xy, or you can write x fx also can. Y and fx is the same meaning. Okay, which 4 points you will find? First is the first point. The first point will be the follow the range because they already want to restrict. The restriction here is the paling depan point, the first point, punya x coordinate has to be negative 2. So of course you have to find out that point, and then the final point also you have to find it out the last point, which is because they already said they want the last point, the x coordinate of the last point to be 8, right? But there's two more points that you have to find, and it's very important, which is the x-intercept and the y-intercept, right? So when you find the x-intercept, you will ganti y equals 0. So this is your y-intercept. Your x-intercept, sorry, your x-intercept. Okay, when you substitute y0, you're finding x-intercept. Then what about when you substitute x equals 0? It means this will be your y-intercept. Okay, so x-intercept, y equals 0. Y-intercept, x equals 0. Very easy. Okay, now it's time to substitute the negative 2 inside my function, right? So let's say this is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. Modulus negative 5 is 5. So this is 5. Now let's substitute 0. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Modulus negative 3 is 3. So 3. This one I will do last. I will not do now. I'll do later. Let's do this one first. So this one is 8, right? So x, let's substitute 8 here. 8 minus 3 is 5. Modulus 5 is also 5. So just write 5. Okay, for my last part, I will not substitute x equals 0 for this one. I will substitute y equals 0 ataupun fx equals 0. It means the whole thing have to equal 0. It means the whole thing modulus x minus 3 equals 0. So how can I find x if my modulus x minus 3 equals 0? I will write here modulus x minus 3 equals 0, you will move the modulus. You will pindah the modulus. So when you pindah the modulus, what happens is there will be two answers, plus minus 0. But 0, there's no plus minus for 0. Because 0 is like neutral. There's no positive 0, there's no negative 0. Negative 0 is still 0, positive 0 is still 0. That's why you can ignore the plus minus and you straight away write x equals 3 like that and then separate, right? So I have my first point, I have my last point, I have my y-intercept, I have my x-intercept. Now I'm ready to sketch, right? So now when I sketch, I will draw my y-axis first. Where should I draw my y-axis? Okay, somewhere here lah. Okay, after drawing my y-axis, I will label the highest y coordinate first. Here I'll write fx. You can write y also. So the highest y value is 5. So this will be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, the paling small punya value is 0. So this is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's time to draw the x-axis. The x-axis, the smallest value is -2, but the highest value is 8. So here I will only use a short part, but the right side has to be longer. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so this is 0. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I will do 2, 4, 6, 8 macam tu. Okay, because I don't want my graph to be very messy. So I want my scale to be like, okay, I want to ada sikit potongan. So 2, 4, 6, 8. This is enough. And then this will be -2. Like this is better, right? Of course, you can also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can also. Oh, and by the way, this is sketching question. Sketch punya soalan, you don't have to draw in graph paper. You just draw in whatever the answer space provided. Okay? You just draw it there. No need to use ruler. Okay, you need to use ruler, but you don't need to measure. You don't need to be like how to say pixel perfect. You don't have to like how to say measure like how many cm. No need one. This one is just draw it in the blank piece, like the answer space provided lah. You don't have to measure, don't have to use graph paper one. Okay, first point is -2, 5. And what do we call this point? The first point, right? The first point. So I think it's here, right? It's here. So this is my -2, 5. Let's label it. And then the next point will be 0, 3, which is this. All right. This one we don't have to label. Usually we need to label the first point and the last point only. All right. And then 3, 0, which is in between 2 and 4 here. So just put a dot here. Just plot here. And then 8, 5, which is here. So let's plot nicely. 8, 5. So lebih kurang here lah. So this is your 8, 5. Okay. Usually I recommend labeling the first point and the last point. The point in between is okay. If you don't want to label the point in between, it's fine. Right. But I recommend labeling the first point and the last point. Now use your pembaris. Join all these points. Right. You can use ruler, because this is not a curve. If it's a curve, then you have to use freehand already. But since this is a straight line, so this is how it looks like. Okay, I think I'm done sketching. Now just write the equation. Where should I write the equation? Let's write here lah. Okay, here lah. Let's write like this. So it will be fx equals to modulus x minus 3. Okay, yeah. Okay, okay. Now I finish A, but A they also asked to find range, right? Okay, so let's write down the range here. So what would be the range? Okay, actually this is also range. The one they give us is also range. It's just that this one is the range of x, right? The range of x, which is from -2 until 8, right? But now I don't want the range of x. I want the range of y-axis. It means I will tengok paling atas punya point sampai paling bawah punya point. So this is my range, right? So my range will be from where to where? Paling bawah is 0. You don't tell me 3. Come on. Some students, they will tengok paling bawah punya point and then they tell me 3. No lah, you have to baca to the y-axis. So because you tengok paling bawah now. Okay, so you will refer your y coordinate. Okay, so the y coordinate of this point is 0. 3 is the x coordinate, so please don't tell me it's 3. So the range paling bawah is 0 for y-axis, and then paling atas is 5. Okay, we have to look at the y coordinate of the highest point. So it's 0, 5. Okay, but we have to use the in between to write it. So the in between symbol is like this. Okay, and then it will be in between 0 and 5. Always write the smaller number in front and then the big number at the back. And here you write fx. Okay, don't write x, fx lah, because it's the y-axis punya range, so of course you write fx. Okay, I think this is good enough for 3 marks. I think this is more than enough already. So yeah, this is I'm done already. Now we can go B. Hence, find the values of x if f gx equals to x, given that gx is 2x minus 6. Straight away, go start your working from here. F big bracket gx equals to x, right? But use the big bracket to remind yourself you have to do the inside function first. So the f don't do first, do the gx first. And they give you gx here, just substitute inside 2x minus 6. After you sampai sini, you have to do the outside function. Just now you already do the inside function, which is gx. And after you substitute, you realize you cannot continue. So now you will do the outside function, which is f. But do you have f? If I don't have, means I have to let already. The answer is yes, I have, because my fx is modulus x minus 3. So no need to let, right? So f is this one, right? So my function, this is function f, this is also function f. So they are the same function. It means I can write down the modulus x minus 3 down here. But when you write the modulus x minus 3, be careful. Be careful, because you cannot write modulus x minus 3, because the bracket x now change to bracket 2x minus 6. So the x at the back also have to change to 2x minus 6. It means f bracket x is modulus x minus 3, but I don't want f bracket x. I want f bracket 2x minus 6. That is why the x has to change to 2x minus 6 equals to x. Now how to find x? Okay, negative 6 minus 3 is just negative 9. The modulus, what we can do is we can pindah to the other side. But when you pindah the modulus, when you move the modulus to the other side, there will be two answers. One positive, one negative. Just now I mentioned to you already, in which part? In here, right? Here I mentioned it already. But can you tell me why this one I never write plus minus 0? Because I told you already, 0 is neutral. There's no plus 0, minus 0. Okay, positive 0 is still 0, negative 0 is still 0. That is why I never write plus minus. But this case, it's a x. So that's why you have to write plus minus. Okay, it's not 0. So now how to find x here? Plus x move here become minus 2 minus 1 is x, negative 9 move here become 9. Sudah siap? How to find x? Minus x pindah jadi plus, 2 plus 1 is 3, minus 9 move there become 9. So x equals to 9 divided 3, which is 9. So the answer for x here is 3 and 9. So find the values of x. So x equals to 3, comma x equals to 9. Okay, or you can also write x equals to 3 and 9. Can also. Okay, all right, sudah siap? Okay, finally we are at bahagian B. So bahagian E, B got how many question? 3 question, right? Bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan. But we are required to jawab 2 soalan. Okay, but I will jawab all 3. Okay, I will jawab all 3 in this video. Okay, like usual lah, I always jawab all soalan because we are doing revision. So I will jawab all. But in exam, you will only choose 2 questions, right? Okay, number 13. Let's read the question. Given that a triangle ABC with vector AB is 4i minus 6j. Okay, if it's ij vector, means this is coordinate vector. Okay, coordinate vector. And you need to know I is for pergerakan yang kiri kanan, right? And J is for pergerakan yang atas bawah. So I repeat, I is for the horizontal movement, J is for the vertical movement. So if I tell you 4i minus 6j means what? It means going from A to B means going 4 to the right, means you go ke kanan 4 times because it's positive 4, and then go ke bawah 6. Okay, because it's negative, right? And J is for atas bawah, that's why it's go bawah. Okay, what about 2i plus 4j? Go ke kanan 2 times and then naik 4 times. Okay. Okay, T lies on the line BC such that 3BT equals TC, and then find vector BC. Okay, this vector question will be a little bit difficult to do because they never provide us any diagram. And I can't label, right? So, and it's very hard to imagine. So why not we draw our own diagram? So since they already said there's a triangle ABC, so why not you just draw a triangle, okay? The diagram, if the diagram salah tak apa one, right? Because the diagram, the lukisan ada markah, the drawing. The drawing tak ada markah, right? This drawing is just to help us imagine the vector, right? Imagine the position. So it's okay if your triangle how to say is wrong, the diagram is wrong, it's okay, because this drawing tak ada markah one. This drawing is just I just want to draw it, okay, so that it can help me imagine. So this is ABC. I just simply write only. Vector AB, let's label. So arrow 4i minus 6j. Okay, from this you know it doesn't make sense already in my diagram, because A to B is ke kanan 4 times, ke bawah 6 times. So B shouldn't be here, right? It should be ke kanan 4 times and then ke bawah. So B must be somewhere here, right? But I told you already, it doesn't matter. This is just for how to say, for demonstration purpose only. It doesn't matter if the diagram is wrong. Okay, I know my diagram is wrong. Okay, but I don't care. Okay, I will not betulkan the diagram. Okay, because I know the diagram is not important. Right, the working is what's important. So AC label, just label 2i plus 4j. All right. Same thing. I know it doesn't look like it's going 2 ke kanan, 4 ke atas, but it doesn't matter. Okay, it's fine. All right. Okay, can I find vector BC? The answer is yes. I can do BA plus AC, right? So that's my question 1 answer lah. But before that, they got mentioned something here. T lies on BC. It means T is somewhere in between BC, and the ratio here is 3BT equals TC. Okay, this one, this means they are trying to give you the ratio for BT and TC. But students always tell me they don't know how to read this. Okay, very easy. Dalam dengan dalam, luar dengan luar. It means BT ratio is 1, TC ratio is 3. So this is 1, TC is 3, so this one is 3. Right? Or maybe some students they like to convert to fraction, can also. BT over TC equals 1 over 3, and then BT ratio TC equals to 1 ratio 3, can also. And then BT1 TC3, can also. You can do like that also. You will end up with the same result. Okay, but I always teach students to read like this. Okay, if they give you in this form, you just read dalam dengan dalam, luar dengan luar. Okay, it's like a rainbow. Okay, like a rainbow shape. Okay, after you reach here, now you can do your A1 already lah. Very easy one. So how to find BC? Very easy. I already tell you BA plus AC. Okay, BA plus AC. So what is BA? AB is 4i minus 6j. So BA will be negative 4i plus 6j. Because opposite direction means you have to tukar tanda in the vector. And then plus with AC, 2i plus 4j. So just write it down, right? I don't think you have to open bracket, because even if you put bracket, when you open the bracket, it will be the same thing because depan bracket is plus, alright? But if it's minus, then you have to be careful lah. Okay, I dengan I boleh buat. Negative 4i plus 2i is negative 2i. 6 plus 4 is 10j. Okay, so that's it, right? This is my question 1 answer. What about question 2? Find the vector AT, hence find the unit vector of AT. Okay, if you want to find unit vector, you need to find magnitude. And when you find magnitude and unit vector, you need to make sure your vector is in terms of ij. If it's not in terms of ij, you cannot find your magnitude, because magnitude formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square, and the number you put in here will be the number in front of ij. It means you will put the coefficient of I and j inside your magnitude formula. So let's find our vector AT in terms of ij first. So let's find our AT. Okay, how to find AT? Okay, if you look at the diagram I draw, AT is here, right? So if I want to find this vector A to T, I will do AB plus BT or AC plus CT. Both also can. You will get the same answer. All right. Okay lah. Let's do AB plus BT lah. Right. AB plus BT. But if you want to do AC plus CT, can also. You will end up with the same answer later. Okay. AB vector I have already. 4i minus 6j. Just pop it in. Plus with BT. Okay. BT I don't have the vector. But can you tell me BT is anak siapa? BT is anak siapa? BT is anak kepada BC, right? Why I say BT is anak BC? Because BT is sebahagian daripada BC. BT is a part of BC, right? But some student when I ask them BT anak siapa, they will tell me C to B, which is wrong already. B to T, it means my direction is going downwards. It means BT is anak siapa? BC, bukan CB, BC, alright? So BT is anak kepada BC, okay? But the ratio for BT they give you already, right? So you can use ratio. So BT is actually 1 over 4 BC, because B to T is 1 portion, T to C is 3 portions, so total 4 portions. So B to T is 1 over 4 B to C, okay? Like that, right? So now you can write 4i minus 6j plus 1 over 4 BC. And BC you have already, you find already just now, which is bracket negative 2i plus 10j. Okay, let's finish it. 4i minus 6j times 1 over 4 means divide 4. Negative 2 divide 4 is negative 1 over 2i. 10 divide 4 is just 5 over 2j. You can use your calculator to help you. 4 minus 1 over 2 is 7 over 2i. Negative 6 plus 5 over 2 is negative 7 over 2j. So this is my vector AT in terms of ij. Now I want to find unit vector. Okay, when I find unit vector, okay, I'll write down here. So when I find unit vector in how do you say it? In direction. Yeah, in direction of AT, right? So unit vector in direction of AT. So when I find unit vector, we need to know there's one formula to find unit vector, right? And the formula is 1 over magnitude times with the vector in ij form, in terms of ij, right? That is why you cannot find unit vector first. You need to have magnitude first, or else you can't put in you can't use this formula, right? That's why I leave an empty space here. Can you see I never write the unit vector here, because I know I need this space to find the magnitude of vector AT first. Okay, how to find magnitude? The formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. This formula actually come from Pythagoras theorem. Okay, and what you put inside the bracket, you put the horizontal punya unit and vertical punya unit lah, which is the number in front of ij, 7/2 and -7/2. 7/2 square is 49/4. This one is also 49/4, and the negative will hilang. When you square a negative number, it will become positive. 49/4 plus 49/4, I think it's 49/2. So this is my magnitude, square root 49/2. But actually, we can simplify this, because when you square root 49/2, it means atas yang square root or bawah yang square root. Both also kena square root, right? It means square root 49, you can do become 7. And then it's just 7/2 like this. Okay? But we can rationalize. Okay? We can simplify this. 7/2 is better to rationalize. Rationalize means you make the denominator tak ada square root. Okay, and why is it better to rationalize? Because later we have to substitute this inside here, right? So it's better to make this the simplest form first before I write it down here, or else later things will get very complicated. So let's write down in let's rationalize. And how to rationalize? It means I make the square root dekat bawah ni hilang. So I have to darab dengan conjugate dia, which is square root 2. If square root 2 darab square root 2, the square root will hilang, right? But if I take bawah darab square root 2, atas also have darab same thing, then I will end up with 7 square root 2/2. So this is my magnitude in the simplest form. Now I will pop this inside here, right? I will straight away substitute this whole thing inside here, okay? Because the formula for unit vector is 1 over magnitude, which is this, times with the vector in terms of ij, which is 7/2i minus 7/2j, right? Okay, 1 divide 7 square root 2/2, it means 1 times 2/7 square root 2. It means, okay, do I have space down here? Okay, yes. Okay, so now it will become 2/7 square root 2. Because 1 divide 7 square root 2/2 means 1 times, you can flip this upside down. So that's why it looks like this. And then don't forget to times with 7/2i minus 7/2j. Now you will expand this. It means you will take 2/7 square root 2 times 7/2. But the 2 and 2 can cut. And the 7 and 7 can cut. So you just left with 1/square root 2i. Right? Same thing here. When you times this 2/7 square root 2 inside here, positive times negative is negative. And then the 2 can cut here. 7 and 7 can cut here. Left with 1/square root 2g. Right? So this should be your answer. But let's try to write our answer. Let's try to simplify more. Because this one can simplify lagi. How can we simplify this? Can you see bawah ada square root? And if bawah ada square root, what we can do? Bawah ada cert means we can rationalize, right? Actually, rationalize is simplify lah. When you rationalize means you're trying to simplify. All right. It's just that when we are doing cert, we don't use the word simplify. We use the word rationalize. But they are the same thing. They are the same meaning. It means we are trying to make it into a simplest form. So how to simplify certs? We make the denominator tak ada square root. So we darab with the conjugate again, and this conjugate will be square root 2 square root 2. This one also square root 2 square root 2. Okay, because the bawah is square root 2. So the only way to get rid of the square root is to times with square root 2. So now let's see what I get. Square root 2 times 1 is just square root 2, and then this one is over 2 lah, and then I lah. And then this one is square root 2 times 1 is just square root 2, and then over 2j. Okay, so this should be the final answer for the unit vector. Okay, so I'll just stop here, all right, because finished already. Now we can continue with part B. Okay, part B, I'll do it here. Okay, just now is part A, right? All of this is part A. Okay, for part B, they says if D is a point such that AD equals HBC, can we label this information in our diagram? Cannot. Why cannot? Because they never give me value of H. If let's say they give me value of H is 2, it means AD equals to 2BC. At least I can label this, because I can label AD ratio is 2, BC ratio is 1, right? But the problem is they never give me H, so I don't think I can label this. Okay, and then it says AD, okay, let's write it down. AD equals to negative 3i plus kj, such that h and k are constants. Find the value of h and k. Okay, let me tell you, in vector, when they ask you to find the value of h and k, it means you want the h and k to be in one equation. All right. Usually when we do algebra, like linear equation, you want your equation to be less unknown, right? Like for example, 3x plus 5 equals to 2. Can you find the x? Yes, because there's only one unknown here. So it's very easy. You just pin out the 5, pin out the 3, very easy. But when I tambah unknown like this, then it becomes difficult already, because when you have two unknown in one equation, it's very hard to simplify, because when you try to find the x, the y kacau. When you try to find the y, the x kacau, right? But in vector, It's very different. In vector, you actually want your equation to have banyak unknown. So if you want to find a h and k, it means you want the equation to have h and k in one equation. Okay. Why in vector you can do like that is because vector you can compare coefficient. You can compare the coefficient both sides later. That's why when doing vector, it's better to have whatever they want. You just make sure they are in the same equation. So how can I combine h and k inside one equation? Okay, in the whole question, the only information with k is this, which is the AD vector. And in the whole question, the only information with h is here, right? So definitely I have to think about some ways to connect these two information to one equation, and I need to make sure that equation have h and k at the same time in the equation. Then only I can solve. So can I combine these two? The answer is yes, because this is vector AD, this is also vector AD. It means h times vector BC is equals to negative 3i plus kj. Can you see I sudah berjaya jadikan H and K make the H and K inside one equation. So the rest is very straightforward already. The negative 3i plus kj, don't do anything, just leave it. And then the BC, I will write it down here. After writing it down here, expand the H inside. After expand the H, compare both sides. Compare the coefficient of I in both sides, and then compare the coefficient of J, and then you get the answer already. So the rest is very easy already. Okay, for my vector BC, I will refer here. Okay, I do already. Negative 2i plus 10j. And I told you already, the next step is to expand and then compare later. Negative 2hi plus 10hj equals to negative 3i plus kj. Even though it looks very complicated now because your equation have many unknowns, right? Got h, got k, got I, got j, but it's fine because you can compare the coefficient. The coefficient of I on this side is negative 2h. The coefficient of I on this side is negative 3. You can connect them together. Negative 2h equals negative 3. H is 3 over 2. Done. What about coefficient of j on this side? 10h. The coefficient of j on the other side, k. Compare them together. 10h equals k. But the h, I already find it, 3 over 2. So your k will be 10 times 3, 30 divided 2, 15. So the answer will be 3 over 2 and 15. So this is how you get full mark for this vector question. So 5 marks, 3 marks, 8 marks in total. All right. Hope you understand. Okay, let's continue with question 14. Okay, 14a, the working out right here. All right. So 14a1, they actually want us to derive. Derive means they want you to prove the formula or show the working. I mean, show how the formula, where the formula come from. It means you are trying to derive this formula, which is the log x over y base a equals to log x base a minus log y base a. Okay, when we have single log divide, we can change to separate log minus. We've been using this formula ever since Form 4. Do you agree? Because when we learn this in Form 4, Chapter 4, the log chapter, we've been using this formula, but we never really know where the formula come from, why it works. We didn't know, right? Because we never derived the formula. We just use the formula only, right? So in this question, we will be learning, I'll be teaching you how to derive this formula. But before I derive, I just want to show you some other state paper where they ask a similar question. So I will show you the Perley's paper now. So this is Perley's paper, okay? So can you see Perley's, and it's paper 1, and it's also trial for 2023 Addmaths. Let me show you one question. I forgot which question. Let me find it for you quickly. All right, let me find it. Yeah, this one. I find it already. Question number 4. Can you see they want you to prove that the division law of logarithm is this? Isn't this the same as this one, right? The Pahang one, right? Because the Pahang also, you are trying to prove the division law. Okay, actually, it's the division rule. Same lah, division rule or division law, right? Can you see it's the same? It's the same, And then I also want to show you something else, which is question number number 8, right? Number 8. This is also the police paper. They ask you to derive formula, but this one obviously is other formula. This one they want you to prove this SN formula. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you now is this type of question where they ask you to derive formula is really famous in this year and last year also in trial 2022 and 2023. So this is like one of the trending question in the trial papers. So you need to make sure you know how to prove this formula, and especially the progression one. This one come out a lot. I tell you, this progression formula come out a lot. They will ask you to prove the SN formula for arithmetic, which is n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. And also this one. This one is the Sn for geometric. And also S infinity. Okay, S infinity jarang tanya lah, tapi pernah tanya, right? So make sure you know how to prove this formula. But I will not be doing this now. Okay, if you want the explanation for this, you can go to my Sabah video or my SBP video, because I believe I got stumbled upon this question in my Sabah paper and SPP paper. Let's go back to the logarithm punya proving. So this is what I want to show you. So can you see it happens in two state paper in Pahang and Perlis. And let me show you another state paper, which is the Perak punya state paper. So this is Perak, as you can see here, Perak, and it's 2023, and it's also Kertas 1 for Addmaths. Okay, let me find the question. I forgot which question. Let me just find it. So where is it? Proving punya, proving. Okay, let me find. Okay, I find it already. Number 7. So this one also they'll ask you to derive formula, but obviously it's not the log punya, it's the SN for geometric progression. Can you see how often this come out? It means it's the same as the Perlis one lah. Just now the one I show you, this one lah. This one, right? This one, right? This one is the SN for geometric. And in the para paper, same also. SN for geometric. Okay. And I'm showing you Perlis and Perak, right? But if you look at the Sabah, I tak ingat lah Sabah or SBP. Also, they got us SN for geometric, right? So this actually comes out a lot, especially the geometric, the progression chapter punya proving, they ask a lot, right? So make sure you really know how to do this, right? It's really trending in this year, okay? It's one of the trending question. Okay, let's find out the log question. Where is it? I find it already. This one, number 8, right? Number 8, they say given that x equals a power p, prove that the basic power law. Okay, this formula is a little bit different with the Pahang question I did just now. This one is called the power rule, okay, or you can call it power law, right? So how do we prove this? Actually, I will not do it now also. Okay, I just want to show you all the formula. Okay, all the how to say all the. I just want to show you all the proving question for logarithm chapter. Okay, so they might ask you to prove the power law or power rule. Okay, which is this one. Okay, log x power n base a equals to n log x base a. This is one of the proving question that might come out for log chapter only. And then another one that where they might ask is the multiplication rule. Multiplication rule is log xy base a equals to log a base x plus log a base y. This is the multiplication rule. And another one is the division rule. This one you saw it in my Pahang paper just now lah. Later I will show you how to prove the division rule. It will be log x over y base a equals to log x base a minus log y base a, right? And actually there's one more. The changing base formula. The changing base formula for log, which is if I have log b base a, I can change to log b log a, and then the base it will be cc like that, right? But sometimes the question they will change this to mn or xy or whatever, but it's still the same formula lah. So these are the 4 types of formula that will come out, that I how to say that I realize comes out a lot in trial, right? The first one, power rule, it comes out in this paper already, which is the, what is this? Perak. This one come out in Perak paper already, right? Perak. Okay, Perak paper for 2023. And then the multiplication rule, so far in 2023 never come out, but because the multiplication rule and the division rule, they have the same way to prove it, right? So I will just combine this into one lah. So the multiplication division rule, you actually see it in Pahang 2023, Perlis 2023, and Perak 2023. Perak tak ada. Just Pahang Perlis only lah. So yeah, but both Pahang and Perlis question, they ask for the division rule proof. They didn't ask for multiplication. But actually, the proof for multiplication and proof for division is very similar. It's very similar. Okay? Later I'll show you. And finally is the changing base one. This changing base one, they never. So far I actually I didn't show you the question punya example, but it comes out in SPM sebenar for 2020. I forgot already. 2022, I think. Yeah, SPM 2022. They got come out this one, right? So all these questions actually come out in SPM sebenar and trial. So you have to make sure you know how to prove all these 4 formulas. Okay. But this one is just under logarithm, under log punya chapter. Okay. There is still a lot of proving question under progression, quadratic, quadratic punya chapter, and what else? Coordinate geometry also. Sometimes they ask you to prove the coordinate area punya formula, and then what else? Trigonometry punya chapter banyak lagi. But I'm just saying, within log punya chapter is just this four formula yang akan keluar, right? Okay, I think I talked enough already. Okay, I hope all my analysis help you with your revision. So this one, all four formulas you need to know how to prove, right? So now it's time to learn how to prove the division rule. Okay, so I will be teaching you how to prove the division rule only. So how to prove the division rule? First thing first is, this thing is should be my final answer, right? Because I'm trying to prove this, right? So my last baris should look like this. So what I will do now is I will let, okay, I'll write let, I will let, okay, my log x base a, log x base a equals to p, and my log y base a equals to q. Okay, you don't necessarily have to use p and q. You can use any alphabet you want. You can use mn, xy, anything. But I recommend don't use xy lah, because xy is already exists here, and here, right? So use any alphabet except x, y, and a. You can be pq, or like mn, or maybe uh EF, or whatever lah, whatever alphabet. Okay. So what I will do is I will let log x base a equals p, log y base a equals q. Okay. Afterwards, after this, I will take x and find y. Right? I will find x and find y. And how can I find x is I will do anti-log. Do you know how to do anti-log? Anti-log means you take the log, you kasih dia tak ada log. It means you hilangkan dia punya log. So how you get rid of the log is you pindah the log to the other side. But when you pindah the log to the other side, what happens to the log base? What happens to the a? What happens to the log base a? It will become the number base. It becomes a power p like this, right? Same thing here. Y, when you y equals to, when you pindah the log base, it will become a power q, right? So this is the first step, right? After you do this, now you will take x divide y, because I'm proving the formula I'm proving is the division rule. The division rule. That is why I have to take x over y. If I'm doing the multiplication rule, I will do x times y now. All right. But since I'm doing the division rule, I will do x divide y, x over y. It means the other side will be a power p divide a power q. Right. And we can use the law of indices here. When we have two number with same base, the power we have to minus, right? So we use the law of indices, which is when we have same base here, the power minus, so it will be p minus q, right? And after we reach here, we will, okay, since the formula I'm proving is a log x over y base a, it means what I have to do here? I have to add log both sides, right? So I will tambah a log on this side, but if I tambah on this side means the other side also I have to tambah so that it's balanced. But when you tambah log both sides, what base? What is the log base? It can be any base. It can be base 10, base 10, base 5, base 5. But I will use base A. The reason why is because look at the formula I'm proving. It's all in base A. So you should use base A. So what you write here is x over y. And what you write on the other side, it will be A power P minus Q. Right? The whole P minus Q is the power. And don't forget, power can hantar depan. So let's write here. So it will be log A x over y equals to the whole thing p minus q bring in front, right? And then you're left with log AA. Okay, but what is log AA? Log AA is 1, right? Because log number, when the log number and log base is same, is 1. So you just left with p minus q on this side, and you left with log x over y base A, right? But what is p minus q? Well, it's log x base A and log y base A, right? Can you see? So it means my log, okay, my log x base log a x over y is equals to p minus q. But since my p is log x base a, so I can write log x base a minus with q, which is log y base a. And you can see this looks the same as this, right? It means I sudah berjaya proof lah. So this is the proof for division rule, right? So I can write the word proven here. Okay, actually they never say the word proof, they just say derived, right? So I think you can write the word derived, maybe derived. Okay, derived. If they say proof, then I write proven. If they say show, I write shown. So if it's derived, then you just write derived lah. Means I already done derived the formula. Okay, so make sure you memorize the steps to prove this division rule. Actually, it comes out a lot in trial. So if it comes out in SPM, you shouldn't be surprised because it's come out so many times already in trial. And please don't forget what other formula that will come out for this chapter. They might ask you to prove the division and multiplication. They might also ask for power rule and changing base, right? But the power rule proof is very easy, but I will not do it now, right? Okay, maybe I'll do this paper in the future lah. This is the para paper. If I if I do this in the future, then maybe you will have the chance to hear me explain how to prove the power rule. But for now, I won't do it, right? But it's this question lah. This question prove that the basic power law or power rule. This one lah. So this one come out in para. Okay, but I will not show you now. Okay. And another formula is the changing base. Yang ni pun kena tahu. Okay. So yeah, these are all the formulas that you need to. Alright. Maybe I'll explain. Maybe I'll make one video in the future lah to explain all how to prove all these formulas. I don't know. Okay. Depends lah. Okay. If I have time, I'll make it. Okay. Now let's come back this question. Oh, by the way, can I teach you how to prove the multiplication rule also? Since we are already how to say, because the multiplication rule is also very is similar to this, right? It's just that after you do until here, you will take x times y. You will not take x divide, you will multiply them, and then it will be a power p times a power q, which is a power p plus q, and then you will tambah log both sides, and it's base a also. Okay, log a p plus q, and don't forget the p plus q can letak depan, and then log a can cut become 1, and then here will be log xy base a, and then don't forget what is p plus q. P is log x base a plus log y base a. Okay, siap. This one, this is how you prove the multiplication rule. All right, it's the same thing. Okay, the first few steps is the same. It's just that instead of you dividing, you multiply them. Right. So this is the multiplication rule. Okay, but I will erase this for now because the question never asked me to prove the multiplication rule. The question only asked me to prove the division rule. All right, but I hope you know how to prove both lah. Both also you know. Okay, now it's time to do B. Okay, I spent so many time, so much time on this question, but I think it's worth it, lah. Okay, so question number 2, I will write my soalan here, lah. Okay, question number 2, what is the soalan? Log 54 base 3 minus log 6 base 3, and then minus log 3 base 3, and then they want me to calculate, right? Without using calculator, find the value of this. Okay, can I use calculator? So how? Use the division rule, lah. Use the rule that you just belajar just now. When you have two separate log with same base and then minus, you can combine into a single log and you have to divide them. So when you have separate log and they all have same base 3, and tengah-tengah is minus, you can combine them into a single log, right? And everything have to divide, right? But the first number automatic must write atas one. The first number 51 always write atas one. And then the next number, you will write atas bawah depending on plus or minus. If plus, you write atas because plus become times, right? But if minus, you write bawah because divide ma. And then 3 also you write bawah, right? And in the middle, nothing means times, okay? Okay, some student might ask, hey, sir, why you write times? I thought this one minus become divide. Okay, yeah lah, it's divide. I already tulis bawah garisan, right? So when you divide something, it means you are taking the bawah number times, right? So I hope none of you is confused with this, right? Now you just press 54, divide 6, divide 3. When you tekan divide 6, divide 3, bukan divide 6 times 3, right? Because it's actually divide both, right? Or if you takut, you tekan bracket here. It means you tekan 54, divide bracket 6 times 3, okay? Just remember, when you tulis bawah garisan means divide already. Even though here I write times, it's still divide, okay? Unless you put bracket lah. Okay, my calculator give me 3, and then what is log 3, 3? Satu. 1. So this is the answer. Okay, so 5 marks for this. All right, hope you understand. Now let's do soalan B. I'm sure this is also the log question. Right. Okay, let's read the question first. At the beginning of the beginning, okay, beginning. Okay, at the beginning of the year 2022, the population of a species of the animals in the forest was estimated at 20,000. So this is the population. The number of animals and decreased. So the population will decrease. after t years is given by this formula. So this formula is used to calculate population. N equals 20,000. E is a number, and then negative 0.03 power t. Okay, we need to know what n represents and t represents first. N represents population. Okay, it means this formula can help us calculate population, and t represents time, but it's calculating in years, right? Because they say after t years, and then n is the number of animals, means population lah. So if I want to know population after 5 years, then what I do, I just substitute the t with 5, and I press the whole thing, then I know the population already. That's what it means. Okay, now this says calculate the minimum number of years. It means I'm finding t, in which the animal's population is less than half the animal's population at the beginning. Okay, the population at the beginning is 20,000, right? So what is the half of it? Divide by 2, right? So I'm not calculating n now, right? I'm not calculating n now. I'm calculating t now, right? Because I'm finding number of years. And the n is, okay, if I want to calculate t, it means I need to have the n. It means I need to have the population. And the population, it says, is half the animal population at the beginning. It means 20,000 divide 2, and then here will be 20,000, right? But I don't want to write like this. Okay, I don't want to write like this. I want to write like this. I want to put the 20,000 in front. So 20,000 e power negative 0.03 t, and then the n, which is 20,000 divided 2, I'll write at the other side. But I don't think I can write equal here, because they say calculate minimum number of years in which the animal is less than half the animal population. So what do you think? Should I write equal here? No, right? I have to write smaller. Then what about the minimum punya perkataan? I thought minimum means bigger sama dengan. Okay, the minimum means after you calculate until the end, you choose the smallest value. That's what it means. Okay, so you don't go and put bigger sama dengan because you thought minimum. So no, 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 no. Okay, you have to put less than, because the animal population now is less than half the population, which is 10,000. Okay, so less than 10,000. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, now it's time to solve this. What is 20,000 divided to 10,000? Because can cut, right? And then what about here? This one you just copy only lah. 20,000. E, don't forget this is a what is it? Is a number, and then negative 0.03 t. And now I'm trying to find t, right? So I think I will pindah the 20,000 to the other side. So it becomes e power negative 0.03 t smaller than 10,000 divide 20,000, which is just 1 over 2, or you can write 0.5. Okay. Now how to find t? Okay, you can check both side punya base. This side, the base is e, which is 2.7 something, and then the other side, the base is 0.5, and obviously they cannot change to same base, right? Because they both have decimal, so the only way here is to tambah log. But when you tambah log, you want to tambah what base for the log? Actually, you can put any base you want. It can be base 5, base 10, base anything, base 10 or anything, right? So let me tell you what I will do. I will tambah log base e both sides, log base e. All right, actually you want to tambah base 10 also can, okay, but let me tell you why I tambah base e. Okay, later you understand why. So the e I will write here, and then the power negative 0.03, the whole thing I can write in front, right? So now I want to explain why I tambah log base e. Okay, do you remember this thing? What is this? Natural log, right? And what I told you about natural log is actually log base e, right? So if I tell you ln e, it means what? Log e base e, which is equals to 1. So now you understand why I choose log base e, because I can cut this, and now I just have to tekan. Now I just have to tekan what? Because log e base e cut already become 1. And then now I just have to tekan what? Log 0.5 base e, which is just tekan the ln button and then 0.5. Because I told you already, log base e is ln. So in your calculator, where do you find this button? Beside the log button, right? So just press ln 0.5. Because ln is already automatic log base e. So now you write smaller here, and then the calculator give you negative 0.6931. Okay. Now how to find t? Okay, now how to find t? So my t will be negative 0.6931 divide with negative 0.03, and then the smaller now become bigger. Why suddenly become bigger? Because I divide negative number. When I divide negative number, this sign have to flip. Okay, you have to flip, you have to terbalik. So now it will be t bigger. Tekan lah. So use calculator. I just use the answer button, 23.10. Okay. So what is the answer then? What is the number of years? 23 or 24? 24 years. All right. Some student might tell me 23, because they say like, hey, sir, no need to round off, ma. This one, the one is not more than 5. So, sir, why you plus 1? Okay, it's not about that. It's about this symbol. It's not about whether you round it off or not. It's about this symbol. It's about the bigger, right? So if I say bigger than 23.10 means what? It means if your t is 24, 25, 26, 27, it means when your t is bigger than this value, then only your population will be less than 10,000. Do you understand? So when they say calculate the number of years for the population to be less than half, it means 24 years, 25 years, 26. These are all the years when the population is less than 10,000. Then what about 23? Cannot. 23 is not is not the answer, because 23, the population is still more than 10,000. Only when it's 24, then only it starts to get less than 10,000. Okay, that's why the symbol here is bigger, right? 23 is not bigger than 23.1, right? That's why 23 is not the correct answer. It's 24, right? And do you remember just now they mentioned the word calculate minimum number of years? It means 24, 25, 26, 27, these are all the answers. But I have to find the minimum number of years. It means the first time when the population is less than 10,000 is after 24 years. Of course, 25 years also, it will be even lesser. 26 also even lesser. But I want the minimum number of years. It means the minimum time taken is 24 years lah. That's why I choose 24. Okay, I want to explain one thing. Just now when I reach here, I said you want to tambah log both side, right? Okay, for those students that want to tambah base 10, can also lah. Okay, can also. It will look like this lah. Log 10 base E, and then this one will be log 10, 0.5, right? Can also. And then how you press? Negative 0.03t, and then smaller. Okay, this one, if you tekan, you will get positive log E base 10. It means this smaller, it will still be smaller. You don't have to flip, right? Because when you tekan this separately, you will get positive. So now you just log 0.5, divide log B. Okay, let me just show you that you will get the same answer. But this time you cannot use the ln button lah, because it's log base 10. So you have to press log base 10, 0.5, divide log E base 10. Okay, let me teach you how to press the E. You would press the base 10 first, and then the E, you tekan shift ln 1. Okay, shift ln 1. When you tekan shift ln, the E symbol will come up. But why you have to tekan 1 is because it's E power 1. Okay, and you have to tekan 1, and then baru tekan equal. And believe me, they will give you negative, I forget to tekan divide. Okay, if you tekan correctly, it will give you 0.6931 like that, which is the same as this. Okay, and then the rest of the working will also be the same lah. Right? Okay, let me just press one more time. I just want to make sure I really get it. Okay, so shift ln1, make sure you press. Yeah, yeah. You get negative 0.6931. So what is the rest? It's the same as here lah. When you find t, the smaller have to flip jadi bigger. Kenapa? Because this whole thing when you pindah jadi bahagi. So when you divide negative, and then you will get the same here lah. You will get the same answer, right? So if you want to tambah base 10, can also. Okay, can also. You will end up with the same answer. Okay, let's erase this. Let's erase this and then move on to the last question. Finish already, right? 3 marks. So yeah, this is the answer. Okay, this one also I think I have to erase. This is not the answer. Okay, so yeah. So the correct answer here is 24 years. Okay. Okay, my last question already. This is question number 15. Okay. Okay, let's go. 15. I think this is free go. Diagram 8 shows a point R lies on the circumference of a unit circle. The moment you see the word unit circle, straight away write radius 1, here -1, -1. And then on the coordinate also you can write the word CS. Right? You can only write CS when it's a unit circle. What does it mean by CS? It means cos theta equals to negative H, sine theta equals to H. Right? Only if it's a unit circle you can write like this. Okay? Because the radius is 1. That's why you can write like this. Because when your radius is 1, it means hypotenuse is 1. It means your x coordinate will automatic be the cos theta. And then your y coordinate will automatic be the sine theta. If your hypotenuse is 1 lah. Okay? Okay, so that's why. Okay, now let's do number 1. State the value of theta. Okay, if I want to find theta, I need to have h first. Do you agree? If I want to find theta, okay, doesn't matter whether I'm using this or whether I'm using this, I need to have h. Because if I don't have h, how can I find the sine inverse of h, right? I need to have H so that I can tekan shift sign H, then only I can get my theta. But the problem is I don't have H, right? Okay, let's find out the H lah. How to find H? Well, if you tarik satu line bawah sini, you will get a 90 degree, and the distance from here to here will be H, right? The reason why is because when the x coordinate is negative H, it means this is negative H, right? But if I just want the panjang, I will not take the negative. So the panjang is just H. And then the y coordinate is H, so the height here is H. So we have a right angle triangle that look like this. H, H1. And then this is 90 degree. So tell me now, what formula I can apply to find H? Pythagoras theorem, right? You have because there's only one formula that you can, how to say, connect these three things in one equation, which is Pythagoras theorem. H square plus H square equals 1 square. And what is H square plus H square? 2H square. What is 1 square? 1. And then what is H square? 1 over 2, which is 0.5. And then H equals to square root 0.5. Let's press. Okay, they will give me two answers. 0.7071. Okay, but it's actually plus minus lah, plus minus 0.7071. But actually it doesn't matter because uh you just anggap dia 0.7071 because okay, for example, this one is sine theta, right? Okay, after I get my H, now I can find my theta already. So let's use the sine theta equals to H. But you want to take negative or positive? All right, you will write positive because if you look at here, this is definitely positive, right? So definitely you will write 0.7071. Or maybe some student, they want to use this one to find theta. Can also. But if you want to use this, then you make sure you write negative 0.7071. And then only you shift cos, right? But make sure if you want to use this, you will write like this, negative 0.0071. And then when you tekan shift cos, jangan tekan negative. Jangan tekan negative. The negative only indicates quadrant. Okay? If you tekan negative, it will mess up your working, right? So don't tekan negative. The negative is just trying to tell you add sugar to coffee 2 and 3 quadrant. So after you tekan the shift cos 7071, you will get 45. You have to convert to second quadrant and third quadrant because cos negative, right? That's what it means, all right? But anyways, I'll just erase this. Okay, since I'm using the sine one to do, so what I will do now is tekan shift sine, which is sine inverse lah. Sine inverse 0.7071. Okay, let's see what the calculator gives me. Shift sign 0.7071. My calculator give me 45 degree. Okay. Actually, it's 44.9999, so 45 lah. Okay, but if you use the answer button, they will give you exactly 45, right? But please don't write theta here. This is not theta. You have to write RA here. What is RA? Reference angle. What is reference angle? Angle towards x-axis ataupun you boleh cakap angle in first quadrant. So which quadrant I want now? You have to tengok tanda lah. Tanda positive or negative? Sign bernilai positive. So add sugar to coffee. Sign positive means first quadrant and second quadrant. So first and second. So to get the first quadrant answer, I can take 45. But the second quadrant answer would be here to here. But the angle towards x is 45. So to get the actual angle, I have to take 180 minus, which is 135. Okay. Now I will check whether my angle here, is it make sense to be 45 or 135. If you look at here, here to here is 135, right? Because the garisan is here. But if you look at how they pusing the angle, look at how they pusing. They pusing until here is already 360 degree. Then only they plus with the 135, right? Because this angle is definitely in quadrant 2, which means 45 is confirmed wrong already. It's confirmed 135. But if you look carefully, it's 135 plus with 360 because they pusing satu round first, baru dia tambah 135. So what is the real theta here? 135 plus 360. Now we press calculator and then we will get what? 135 plus 360, 495. So this is the correct answer. Okay, hope you understand why I plus 360, because they tambah satu cycle, tambah satu round. One more thing I want to mention, for those students that want to use this, cos theta equals to negative H, which is negative 0.7071. Make sure you don't tekan the negative, and then you will get the same answer also. Okay, but you have to consider quadrant lah, because cos negative is 2 and 3, right? Okay, and then I think you will end up choosing the second quadrant also. Yeah. So yeah. So if you want to do it like that, can also, you'll get the same answer, right? Okay, but for me, I'll just do it like this. Okay, I'll just do it like this. Okay, now let's continue with the second part. Second part is says express 2 cosec negative theta in terms of h. Before I start doing this question, I just want you to know, if I have sine negative theta, the negative can put in front, become negative sine theta. If I have cos negative theta, the negative can straight away disappear, right? And then if tangent negative theta is same as negative tangent theta, right? This one have to remember, right? So what does this mean? It means when the theta has negative, you can letak depan. But if it's cos, then the negative tak payah letak depan. Negative straight away just erase it. Okay? Okay, now you understand, now you know this, now we can do this question. What is 2 cosec bracket negative theta? What is cosec? Cosec means 1 over sine, right? How I teach you to remember, look at the third alphabet, S, right? So 1 over sine. So it will become 2 times with 1 over sine negative theta, okay? Which is essentially 2 over negative sine theta lah, because 2 times 1 is 2, and then the negative I told you already here, right? Can letak the one. And what is negative sine theta? Sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, but the theta now is, okay, where, how I should write this? Oh, they say in terms of h yeah, then easy lah. Okay, in terms of h, then I straight away tengok the y coordinate, then set already lah. So the answer is negative 2 over h, right? Understand? Because the sine theta is the y coordinate, right? Or maybe if you want to look at the right angle triangle, can also. But make sure you know, make sure the theta is here. So how to find the sine theta? Opposite over hypotenuse, right? Because it's so, right? But the opposite, you cannot tengok here because the angle is outside the right angle triangle. You have to take the reference angle, which is here. So the opposite is h, the hypotenuse is 1. So what is your sine theta? H over 1 lah. But do you have to add negative in front? No need, because your real angle is second quadrant, and second quadrant memang sign positive. That's why this is positive H over 1. That's why sine theta is just H, right? So that's why the sine theta I just put H. That's why this is the answer. Okay? Tapi sebenarnya you tak payah buat macam tu. You just look at the y coordinate only, because this is a unit circle. You can straight away do it like this. Okay? But if you want to do it like this, you will get the same also lah. Okay, 3 marks for this. Okay, finally we are at the part B. This one 5 marks. Okay, for this question, they says it is given that tangent A is 3 over 4, tangent B is negative 7 over 24, such that A is an acute angle, B is reflex angle. Find this one, this one. Okay, this question, can you see they never ask you to find the angle? They ask you to find sine angle plus angle. And then this one is like tangent angle plus minus angle. It means I don't have to tekan macam tadi the shift sine shift tangent, no need. This one they never ask you to find the angle. They ask you to find something angle. So this type of question you need to draw. Okay, you need to draw. Okay. If you don't draw, you cannot do it. Alright. So kena ada lukis. Alright. So the first thing first is I will draw a cross here. Draw a cross. One cross is for angle A, another cross is for angle B, right? But where I should put my angle A? Is it at the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, or fourth quadrant? Well, you can look at the sign. If the sign is positive, tangent positive, means first and add sugar to coffee. First and third quadrant, right? Because it's like that, add sugar to coffee. So tangent positive, first and third quadrant. So this is my A angle can be first quadrant, it can be third quadrant. What about my B angle? Tangent negative, so definitely second quadrant or fourth quadrant, right? But it can only be in one quadrant, so only one of these is correct. It cannot be both correct at the same time. So let's keep reading. A is an acute angle. Now you know for sure already. What is acute angle? It means less than 90. It means quadrant 1 lah. So definitely your A is at quadrant 1. So definitely this, your right angle triangle will look like this, and then tarik to X, and then your A is here. Okay. Okay, now let's think about for B now. Okay, B they say is a reflex angle. Hey, do you know what is reflex angle? Okay, if I say acute angle, means what? Acute angle. Okay, where should I write it? Okay, let's just write here lah. If I say acute angle, it means your angle is less than 90, and it also means that it's a quadrant 1 angle, right? But if it's a obtuse angle in Bahasa Melayu is sudut cakah. Sudut cakah means angle in between 90 and 180, then is quadrant 2. Then what about reflex? Reflex angle is when the angle is more than 180 but less than 360, and the angle can be quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. It means acute angle look like this, obtuse angle look like this, right? And then reflex angle, it looks like this, okay, like this. But it can also look like this. It can also look like this. Okay, like this means quadrant 3 lah. Like this means quadrant 4. All right. So now you understand this. Now you know already. Reflex angle is actually quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. But which one? It cannot, the angle cannot be at both quadrant at the same time. It can only be one of these is correct. Okay. So do I take the quadrant 3 or quadrant 4? Well, just now you already write here, B tangent negative is either 2 or 4. Now it says the is a reflex angle 3 or 4. So which one repeats here? 4, right? So definitely it's quadrant 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It means your angle B is here, and your angle have to go like this, right? This is your angle B. And don't forget to tarik to X like this. All right? It means the reference angle for B will be here, will be inside here. Okay? Same thing for A just now. Because for A, I write quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. But why I end up choosing quadrant 1 is because acute angle is quadrant 1. So the quadrant 1 repeat 2 times here. That's why that's the one that's the correct one. Okay. Hopefully you understand my drawing. Now it's time to label in the 3 and the 4. Tangent formula is TOA, so opposite over adjacent. So if your angle is here, the opposite will be here, the hypotenuse is depan 90, and then the remaining is adjacent, right? And we already know opposite is 3. So let's write opposite 3. Okay. And we also know the adjacent is 4. So let's erase the adjacent and write 4. Then what about the hypotenuse? Find it lah. How to find it? Use Pythagoras theorem. Okay. So when we find hypotenuse, we have to square root, bracket square, we have to plus. Because we are finding hypotenuse the longest one. So 4 square plus 3 square, you will end up with square root 25, which will give you 5. It means the panjang hypotenuse is 5. Even though the question never ask you to find this, you still need to find this. You don't tell me like, sir, dia tak suruh cari, tak payah cari. You kena cari. Memang this type of question, you memang kena lukis and then label the two sides and then find the remaining one. You memang kena buat step ini. If you don't do this step, later you do this one, cannot do. Okay. So this is memang kena buat one. Okay. Now we move on to the next diagram. They give us two sides here. The opposite 7, the adjacent 24, because this is also tangent, so toa. Ignore the negative. The negative, don't look at it. So which one is the opposite? Okay, your real angle B is here. It means your angle is outside the right angle triangle. If it's outside, you cannot determine the opposite adjacent hypotenuse. So what you do is you take the reference angle. Okay, you will take the, how to say, the angle towards X, which is here, right? So you will use this angle to determine the opposite adjacent hypotenuse. So the opposite is here, and then the hypotenuse will be depan 90, and then the adjacent is the remaining one. Okay, now I will start to erase the O and write 7. Okay, because they say opposite is 7, right? And then the adjacent I will erase also and write 24. Okay, and then now I can find the hypotenuse using Pythagoras theorem. Ignore the negative, all right? The negative, don't look at it. The negative is just there to tell me it's quadrant 4. That's all. It's just telling me quadrant. So when we write the panjang, we just write the value only. Okay, how can we find the hypotenuse? It will be square root bracket square bracket square. Of course, I will plus again because I'm finding the longer side, the hypotenuse. So it will be 24 square plus 7 square. If you use calculator, you'll get 225. No, 625. And then when you square root 625, it will be 25. It means the panjang hypotenuse here is 625. Okay. Let me just double confirm with the calculator. Yes, correct. Okay, now finally we can do the first question, which is sine A plus B. Okay, sine A plus B. Okay, after before, so remember, for this type of question, we cannot straight away do this question. We have to draw two diagram and then find label in the panjang and also find the remaining sides. Okay, now only I will do this. Okay, for first question and second question, definitely we will be using the addition angle formula. Let me show you which formula I'm talking about. Let's go to the formula part. Okay, addition angle is ada tiga, right? One is for sine, one is for cos, one is for tangent. The one I'll be using here is this one and this one. This one, no, because the question only asks for sine and tangent, right? So sine formula is this one. Okay, need to hafal, and then this one also need to remember. Okay, so let's go back there and write down these two formulas. Okay, okay, let's go. So we have tangent A plus minus B formula, right? Okay, where should I write it? Okay, let's write it here lah. Okay, so we have tangent A plus minus B is equals to tangent A plus minus tangent B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. This is the addition angle for tangent, right? For tangent. The next one, the next one is what? The next one is for sine. Okay, And the sine A plus minus B is equals to sine A cos B plus minus cos A sine B, right? Okay lah, I write the cos one also lah, because but the cos one I won't be using it this question, but I write also. Okay, I have all already. It's cos A cos B minus plus sine A sine B. Okay, so this is the formula that I'll be only the first one and the third one lah, because this question the first question asked for sine, right? Second asked for tangent. Okay, let's do the first one first. Sine A plus B. So the answer will be what? Sine A cos B plus or minus. Okay, let me teach you how to butcher this symbol. If the symbol is like this, plus minus, it means you follow whatever in front. I repeat one more time. If the symbol is plus minus, you follow whatever in front. If the symbol is minus plus, it means you don't follow whatever in front. Do you understand? It means if like for example this is minus plus, right? It means if the one is plus, then this one is minus. If this one is minus, this one is plus. That's what it means. All right. But since this formula is a plus minus, it means we will follow whatever in front. So this is plus, so I also plus, and then cos A sine B. All right. Now we can find our sine A cos B plus cos A sine B by using the two diagram I draw just now. That's why I asked you to draw first. If you don't draw, how you want to find this, right? Okay, how to find sine A? Using the first diagram lah. So opposite over hypotenuse, it will be 3 over 5, right? And you don't have to tambah negative because angle A is first quadrant. First quadrant, everyone positive. Cos B, cos B you might need to tambah negative. You have to check later lah. Okay, cos B, cos formula is k. So adjacent or hypotenuse. But you will look at the reference angle. So the adjacent for the reference angle is 24, and then the hypotenuse is 25. I hope all of you know how to determine which one is opposite adjacent hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is depan 90 okay, and then opposite is depan sudut, and then the remaining one is adjacent. Okay, but do I have to tambah negative? Well, this is fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, add sugar to coffee. Fourth quadrant, siapa positive? Cos positive. And kebetulan yang ni pun cos, so tak payah tambah negative. Now for cos A. Cos A, I will go back to my first diagram, right? Because the first diagram is for A, right? Second diagram is for B. Okay, first diagram, cos A is adjacent or hypotenuse, 4 over 5. Check whether need to tambah negative. No need, because this is first quadrant, all positive. Now for sine B, look at the second diagram, opposite or hypotenuse. The reference angle is here, opposite is 7, hypotenuse is 25. But this time I have to tambah negative. Why this time I have to tambah negative? Because fourth quadrant only cos positive. But this one I'm finding sine. That's why I have to tambah negative. Now, press calculator. 3 over 5 times 24 over 25. 72 over 125. And then plus, okay, but there's a minus here, right? Okay, just write minus lah. And then 4 times 7 is 28, divide 5, divide 25. 28 over 125. And then now just minus. So my calculator give me 44 over 125. So that should be the final answer, right? Okay, now it's time to do B. Second question, tangent A minus B, but I don't have enough space, right? I write so many nota here. Now I don't have enough space already. So how? Okay lah, I just do it here lah. So second question is tangent A minus B, right? Okay, I will use this formula, right? This one. So I will write down the line. I'll draw the line first. Okay, here will be tangent A. Just follow. Okay, please tell me if this is plus minus means I told you already. If plus minus means what? You will follow whatever in front. So whatever in front now minus, right? It means follow. And then tangent B. And then over with what? Over with 1 minus plus. Minus plus means you want to follow whatever in front, or you don't want to follow. You will not follow, right? So if the depan is minus, it means here you have to write plus. This is the cara betul to use the formula. Okay, now tangent A I open bracket, tangent B I open bracket, 1 plus tangent A tangent B I open bracket, like that. Okay, tangent A tangent B I can refer here. Tangent A is 3 over 4, tangent B is negative 7 over 24. So just put it in, 3 over 4, negative 7 over 24, right? And then tangent A, put in again lah, 3 over 4, and then this one is also negative 7 over 24. Of course, if you ask me, hey sir, what if tangent A, I tengok diagram sini and then I take out opposite over adjacent, I dapat 3 over 4, can also, you get the same, right? But if you want to tengok the diagram, make sure you remember to tambah negative, and make sure you check for quadrant. Make sure you check quadrant and see whether you need to tambah negative lah. Okay, but even if you tengok here, when you find tangent B, you will get the same answer as this, right? Okay, let's try it. Tangent B, opposite over adjacent. What's the opposite? 7. What's the adjacent? 24. But why I have to tambah negative? Because fourth quadrant only cos positive. I'm finding tangent. You see, negative 7, you see, it's the same atas, right? So since the question already have the tangent A, tangent B ready here, that's why I never waste my time looking at the diagram. I straight away just put it in. Okay, because I want to do it fast. Okay, let's press bawah dulu. 1 plus 3 times 4. And then times 7 divided 24. But got negative. So let's put bracket negative. Okay, I get 305 over 24. But I don't know I tekan correctly or not. Okay, I think it's correct already. And then atas, let's tekan 3 over 4. Minus minus means plus 7 over 24. Okay, atas I get 25 over 24, right? And then now I just press 25 over 24, divide. Make sure you tekan bracket, if no bracket, wrong one. Okay, so bracket 3, divide bracket 305 over 24. My calculator give me, okay, I think I did something wrong already here. This is not 305 over 24. Okay, let's press again. This one has to tekan times dulu lah. Okay, so let's press 3 over 4 times 7 over 24. The negative you can add in later. So it's actually 1, this is 1, plus with negative 7 over 32. And then 1 plus minus means 1 minus lah. So 1 minus answer, 25 over 32. So this one is 25 over 32. But make sure you put bracket nicely, because if you don't put bracket, and the calculator will do the wrong, it will give you the wrong answer. So now let's press bracket 25 over 24, close bracket, divide 25, open bracket 25 over 32, close bracket. Okay, my calculator give me 4 over 3, right? 4 over 3, okay? Or I can also explain it like this: 25 over 24, bahagi 25 over 32 means darab 32 over 25 lah. Because the divide you can change to darab, but you have to flip it upside down, and then 25, 25 cut, left with 32 over 24, can simplify, cut, divide 8, 4, divide 8, 3. So you see this answer and this answer is same, right? Okay, hope you understand my explanation. Kertas peperiksaan tamat. Okay, see you next video. Next video, I'll do Pahang paper 2. Okay, bye-bye.